busted up, drained, didn't plan on losing my heart tonight. But on that greasy rooftop, it all felt right. On the roof of the Waffle House, love gets loud. While Dixon's in the kitchen, we escape the crowd. He might motorboat me like a big old beast, the Lord have mercy. He smells like he's might not be forever, might not be clean, but on that rooftop, I'm his queen. Don't wear pride, we climb that ladder just to let it ride. No white picket fence, no wedding ring, but the way you touch me makes the rafters sing. On the roof of the Waffle House, love gets wild. While Dixon's in the kitchen, we escape the crowd. He might motorboat me like a big old beast, but Lord have mercy, he smells like he might not be forever, might not be clean, but up on that rooftop, I'm his queen. I don't wear pride, we climb that ladder just to let it ride. No white picket fence, no wedding ring, but the way you touch me makes the rafters sing. Oh, leave the minivan, leave the 9 to 5, hop in your Beetle, let's feel alive. With Dixon, fried bacon, and a jukebox on, we found the kind of love that don't feel wrong. On the roof of the Waffle House, love gets wild. I'll do broken hearts, lost but proud. But tonight on this rooftop, he's my feast, my wreck, my home, my break routine. But on that dirty rooftop, I'm his queen. I'm his queen.
Welcome back, everyone. And Nonya, I don't see any messages being deleted, so it must be a YouTube deletion because no one has. I don't see it either in StreamYard or on YouTube, so it must be a YouTube deletion. What was the prompt for those wattle images? Park cook with string. No, Delulu. They are just pictures in Canva. So I just found I don't make AI. I'm not that smart. Why not both? Yeah, I'm just thinking, why didn't they do the motion to dismiss before they went to lunch? Because now they're going to call the jury back in. The state is going to rest. He's going to send the jury out. We're going to stumble through a motion to dismiss that's going to take 2 hours because and then the jury is going to come back in, and he's probably doesn't have his witnesses ready, and I've never wanted so hard to pretend that chocolate icing was nutritious after seeing all that Nutella. Well, I like Nutella on my pancakes. I am defeated. I am all the way defeated because again, I look at these cases. I'll either the mods will send me some or I'll find it myself. And you read them and you think, oh, this is going to be interesting. And then you spend 6 hours with a witness who is just showing you all the evidence that you have spent 4 days watching. And then you're sitting here thinking, and then you have a defense team that is probably the worst defense team we have had in any cases so far. And they are about to take over now. And I'm just afraid it's going to be slow and boring as hell. This case is killing my numbers. I would have me showing kitten videos would have been better for my brand. No one deleted your comment. It was YouTube who deleted your comment. And I can't tell you what's bad about it because no one deleted it, so I won't get a notification that it was deleted. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's been an absolute waste of time as the last 2 days. More videos, more, but have you ever considered more speculation, more this, more that, more everything? Woohoo!
All right, we're back in session for the afternoon now, and Detective Schrader, why don't you come back up, sir? And hoping that all 14 jurors are back, is there anything from the state before we start again?
But after Detective Schrader completes his testimony, the state is prepared to arrest, so we can do that on the record immediately.
Hey, Grant. Denmark can into space. Well, Denmark has been into space. We have an astronaut. Enjoy your day. Enjoy yours as well. Who do you think was on the text chain with Proctor? Well, you know who, as well as I, who was on that text chain. Bukaki, Fanning, and was it Lang? You know at least some of them. But was that the only text chain? And did Tully leak things from Lindsay's extractions to Proctor and Pahl? No, because I know it's a big conspiracy that you want to have out there that leaking Lindsay's phone was to do something nefarious. It was a stupid mistake that they didn't go in and clean it up before they sent it over to Aiden's defense team. That's why they instantly tried to get it back. But hey, when it's out in the open, it's out in the open. So I don't think I know it's your big conspiracy and Lindsay's big conspiracy that they leaked it, but I don't think anyone really are interested in Lindsay other than you. She is a small cog in a big wheel, and she is right now a liability to the state. No one cares about Lindsay. Back when she had a purpose, yeah, they would have tried to protect her just like they do with Krusty. But now she is a detriment to the Commonwealth. So if they had leaked her phone now, yeah, I would say that was probably with some hindsight. I think it was just Mello and Cosgrove who were absolute idiots and leaked it because they didn't know what to do. You know Mello, the guy who said, bring the entire internet into the courtroom. So I don't think there was any nefarious actions between it. It was incompetence. But on the text chain, the same guys that you saw in the Karen Reed trial, and those are the guys that I hope you will see at least having internal investigations into. I will hope that we will soon hear some of the DA candidates talk about the massive abuse of power going on. I think that's one of the things that could potentially land some of you anti-Karen Reed people on our side, the side of science and reason, and say we need to clean house. Sadly, you are way too occupied with Tully because of Lindsay. It has no bearing on anything other than, hey, good job. She got Aiden off of some of her charges, and potentially, because she's a witness in other charges, will take them away as well. So let's just hope that your girl Lindsay will be the one who, in the end, ends up saving Aiden, which would have been poetic justice in the highest degree. But thank you for stopping by, Grant, and I'm looking forward to you and I working on the same side against the dirty cops, because sadly you were way too friendly to them because you were against Aiden and you were fighting that battle instead of looking on the facts. But you're starting to come around.
After his...
Okay, all right, very good. Anything from the defense before we start? Okay, and then after the state rests, I presume you want me to address any kind of motions or any issues?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll take, I don't know how long he's going to last, but we'll have the jurors leave after that then, okay? All right, let's have the jurors come back then.
Well, it's okay, Jim.
In terms of specialized records,
14, Detective Schrader is on the stand, and you finished up with cross-examination, correct, Mr. Galaviz?
Yes, sir.
All right, redirect.
Thank you. Detective Schrader, based on your review of the cell phone records and the data that you obtained, if Mr. Pahl told investigators that he found Ms. Pavlon's phone at the car wash on September 6th, would that be consistent with the information that you obtained during this investigation?
Judge, I object. That's not facts and evidence.
Overruled.
Judge, there's no testimony of a cell phone being found at the car wash. There was a person, a note.
Overruled. You can answer.
no, that would not be consistent with my findings.
Okay, tell me why.
There's information that's occurring in Ms. Pavlon's phone that is consistent with somebody using that device. So if it were to have remained in the truck until the car wash on September 6th, I don't know who would have been using that device near 1001 Delafield.
Okay. Now, you said earlier that you don't know when some of these messages are deleted, but you can say with certainty that Ms. Pavlon's didn't delete any messages after 8/23, right?
After 8/23, I do not believe it'd be possible for her to have deleted any messages.
Well, that was nice of Grant, and as I said, hopefully he will approach the side of science and facts instead of just hating Aiden.
And in your review of the cell phone records that were used to map the maps that we've seen on Friday and again today, did you use best practices in making those maps?
Yes, ma'am.
What really do those best practices require?
In terms of the specialized records that were used in the maps that I created, I follow the scientific working group of digital evidence, which indicates that you should, or it recommends that you map with cell site, sector information, and an arc providing the distance from tower.
Okay. Did you also have someone peer review those records that you have peer review the maps that you created to ensure that you were providing accurate information to this jury?
Yes, ma'am.
You were asked about the records right around 10:53 a.m. and if it was possible that Mr. Pahl drove west on Gulf Road, right? Do you remember that question?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Was there anything in the records that indicated to you that Mr. Pahl's device drives west on Gulf Road past the point of OAW?
I did not see any information that would indicate that.
And in fact, the records indicate that the devices remained in the area of OAW between 10:33 a.m. and 10:53 a.m.
That's correct.
Oh, I'm not. I'll lose my mind sometime.
We can go to Exhibit 202, please. I'd like to start on
But
slide
it's always nice to be put in the
51.
same group as wrong.
Detective, you were asked a lot of questions from Mr. Galaviz about the police scanner app in particular days. So I want to go back to those days. One of the days that he asked you about was August 26th. So we're going to go to, okay, looking at slide 51, what was happening on August 26th?
There's an incoming call from Brookfield Dental Center. It's an outgoing call on her device, checking voicemail. And both on August 25th and August 26th, there's missed calls from Layla on Ms. Pavlon's device.
Okay, and if we can go to slide 52, please. Also on August 26th, Layla leaves a voicemail, which is ultimately checked. Is that correct?
Believed to be checked, yes.
Okay. That would be consistent with other people in Ms. Pavlon's life reaching out to her, trying to reach out to her, making phone calls to her, right?
Yes, at least attempting contact with her, yes.
Okay, and if we can go to slide 64, please. That's August 31st. That was another day that Mr. Pahl was checking the scanner. What was happening on August 31st?
There's some web searches from Mr. Paul's phone regarding obituaries. There's an incoming call from Delafield Dental, and there's an outgoing call on Ms. Pavlon's device checking voicemails.
Again, someone else reaching out to Ms. Pavlon's, checking in, making a phone call, right?
There is an incoming call, yes.
Okay. So both of these are days that someone
At this point, if it's a semi-hard meat bat, I'll take it to the face instead of listening to this.
outside of Mr. Pahl may be looking for Ms. Pavlon. Fair to say?
That'd be fair.
Okay. Now on 9/9,
You hang out
we
with
saw
us,
that
Leanne.
huge jump up to 66 times the police scanner was used, right?
They are going to call case.
Yes, it was brought to
a lot
focus,
of
yes.
Thank
people.
you.
Yes.
Brought to focus. In your experience as both a patrol deputy and as a detective, is law enforcement careful about what's aired on the radio over a scanner?
Objection, that's speculation. He doesn't know what everybody else is doing on the scanner.
Overruled.
In my experience, if we respond to I'll call it a sensitive matter, whether it be a fatal car crash or something where somebody may be deceased, we were always advised not to air that information. We would typically not provide license plates or names over the air, just to mitigate the risk of somebody scanning and providing bad information to an outlet.
It's important for law enforcement to be the first point of contact making a death notification, right?
We try our best to do that, yes.
So that type of information is not aired over the radio to prevent someone from maybe finding out about maybe their loved one
Not if
being
it's
deceased
consensual.
before law enforcement's had an opportunity to do so.
Wallstorm, I will fly to Tennessee and I'll give you the coof again.
But it doesn't mean they won't say it's a body of a woman or something. It doesn't mean they're just going to say her name over the air if they knew who it was. I can understand that, but give me a break with these questions.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
correct.
Judge, I'm objecting to all this speculation coming in.
Overruled.
That's correct.
If we can go to slide 123, please.
Well, then recross on him, dude.
Sorry.
Stop
Detective-
laughing. Do your job.
Slide 123 is from September 14th. Sorry, can we go back to the left? A couple more, sorry. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was wrong. Slide 113. We can now display this for the witness. This is a message that's sent to Stephanie from Mr. Hobeg, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and that was also, September 14th was also a day that Mr. Pahl's brings the police scanner app to focus an unusually large number of times, right?
I don't recall how many times September 14th was.
Sure, if we can go back to...
That was 31 times, and if you look a week before that, he had it open 30 times. Oh my
There we go.
God.
September
Okay.
14th, he brings the police scanner app to
Ridiculous.
focus 30 times.
Yeah, and look, right here, he brings it into focus 31 times, 21 times. It's not an abnormal number of times. 23, 23, 27.
Yes, it does appear that way.
And then on the day
You were asked
Officer
about
there,
some of the
66.
obituary searches that you found on both Mr.
the only
Marvin
hijack.
Pahl's computer and on Mr. Matthew Pahl's devices. Why were any searches prior to September 17th for things like Stephanie Pavlon's obituaries, why were those significant prior to 9/17 in your investigation?
Again, I don't know exactly what was put in our press release, but it's uncommon for us to disclose that information during an active investigation. So with law enforcement not being notified of even the recovery of a body in the woods to releasing that name, I don't believe that had occurred at that point. So any searches prior to that specific to her seem like somebody that would maybe have additional information.
No, it means
You would agree
somebody's curious.
that if
Yeah.
Mr. Pahl dumped some devices in the river or got rid of devices, you would have no idea that those devices had been destroyed, dumped, taken somewhere else, right?
Correct, unless I got outside information that something was destroyed or where it was placed.
So you don't know that that wasn't done in this case, right?
True.
You know what devices you have and the devices that you were able to extract and provide data from.
That's correct.
You were asked a lot of questions about some of the video from August 23rd about Mr. Pahl's clothing, what he's wearing, what you could observe. You would agree that there's about 10 minutes, 11 minutes between when Mr. Pahl's truck enters the apartment complex and when he actually enters the building.
I believe it's about 10 minutes, yes.
Okay. You have no idea what Mr. Pahl was doing in the truck before he enters the building, right?
I do not know.
He could have brushed off his clothes.
He could have.
We don't know.
That's correct. I do not know.
You were also asked if he concealed the water bottle when he brought the water bottle, the pink water bottle, in on August 23rd, right? You remember that question?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said he didn't conceal the water bottle.
That's correct. He just carries it in.
But he does conceal the purse when he walks in on August 23rd, doesn't he?
Objection, Judge, that's for speculation. Mr. Pahl always carried stuff in bags every single time he entered the apartment. This was not anything different.
Yeah.
Overruled. It was carried in a plastic bag. Depending on somebody's interpretation of concealed, it was difficult to see rather than carrying it not in a plastic bag.
Similarly, on August 25th, when he went shopping, he brought in a whole cart full of bags, right? You recall
Correct.
that video? We could go to slide 47.
We don't need to go to slide anything. Just get
Get
over
it.
with it.
And you were
You brought
asked,
it
well,
up.
couldn't Mr. Pahl have been getting groceries for himself and Ms. Pavlons, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, but on August 25th at 8:15 a.m., what is the message that he sends to Ms. Desierto?
At 8:15 a.m., Mr. Pahl says, "But I have to go to store today for things I need, and I'm really worried about somebody in my circle."
So he's worried, and he never says that he's getting things for him and someone else, right?
Jamie, if I have my kids over this weekend and we're talking and I say, hey, I have to leave, I have to go get stuff for me at the store. Does that mean my kids won't get anything this weekend because I can only buy stuff for myself? Or could it be a figure of speech that I need to go get stuff? I need some flour, some sugar, some yeast so I can bake a cake for them. I need to buy some frozen meatballs so I can make a lovely balls and curry. Or does it mean I can only buy baker specific items? I can only buy myself a toothbrush, a fresh pair of undergarments. This one is almost done for the year. And I can't buy anything for anyone else if I said the words, I need to go to the store and get stuff for me. It means only me.
It's so stupid. You get stuff for the house, which means you have stuff for people to use if they come over.
And again, I'm going to go to the store to get something for me. Could that me also be the ones living in an apartment? Because if I buy a gallon of milk, can you drink out of it as well?
Yeah.
Don't drink out of the gallon.
Exactly.
Use a glass, you.
No, but yeah, I get stuff to drink usually when I know I'm going to have company because it's like, you know, somebody might not want water. They might want something else.
And balls and curry is a wonderful dish. It's meatballs in a curry sauce that you eat with rice.
Just himself?
This message indicates it's for things that I need.
Now, I want to ask you about some of the
This
questions
is
you were
body
asked about
language
the
all
deleted
over again.
items from
I'm
Paul.
just reading his mind.
You were asked if someone were to have limited storage on their device, they might have to delete some things, right? Would it be common, based on the size of files, for someone to delete text messages if they needed to create more storage on their phone?
I guess that's tough to say, but text messages, relatively speaking, are very small. I know for my phone personally, it talks about deleting videos in much larger files than thousands of text messages, as those are relatively small in terms of storage.
Aside from Mr. Pahl, were there very many people that Ms. Pavlon was communicating with on her cell phone?
In general,
Yes.
Pork.
I don't know specifically. I know a large amount of her contacts were with Mr. Pahl.
Okay. And did you locate any messages between Mr. Pahl and Ms. Pavlon's on Ms. Pavlon's device after it was recovered on September 17th?
There was one.
One message between Mr. Pahl and Ms. Pavlon's?
Recovered from Ms. Pavlon's device, that's correct.
And when was that message sent?
I believe it was September 14th, we had talked about it. It was a news article of some sort regarding ATF in Milwaukee.
After August 23rd?
Correct.
Okay, so there are no messages, no contact.
This is balls and curry. You make your meatballs and then you'll put it in a nice curry sauce and you'll eat it with boiled rice. It's good. It's comfort food for the winter time. And you'll either make it a pure pork or you'll make a mixture of pork and veal. You should try it, Jamie. It's good. I
Is it
don't
a
eat
Danish
curry.
one?
What?
I've never had curry. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's got a funny color, but it looks yummy.
It's spicy, but not spicy hot or something like that. It's just some spice. It's good. It's really good.
Well, next time, Baker.
Yeah. No, it would be too hot for her.
No, I like that spicy sauce that we got on our meat box.
That wasn't the
Meat box.
spicy sauce, Jamie. That was just the spice they put on the meat. You didn't like the chili me and Iris was eating.
Did too. I don't like the actual chilies, but the chili sauce stuff or whatever. That was good.
Between Mr. Pahl and Ms. Pavlon's prior to August 23rd on her device?
In terms of text messages, no.
Okay.
Yeah, Marissa, the box of meat that Baker took us to go get.
And again, you know that Ms. Pavlon's could not have deleted any messages that occurred after August 23rd, right?
I don't believe that would be possible.
Who cares? What does this?
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
All right, can we cross?
I mean, Mr. Paul and Ms. Pavlon, they Skyped a lot, true?
I believe that's true, yes.
So a lot of their messages back and forth were through Skype, true?
I don't know specifics. That's why I answered the state's question regarding text messages. I'm not sure on Skype messages.
And what is Skype?
It's instant messaging. You can video chat. Use it as another cell provider, I guess, but it's a messaging application.
Did you see anything on Mr. Paul's device or Ms. Pavlon's device to indicate that they called each other on the telephone and did not Skype or text?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Well, Mr. Paul could have communicated with Matt Pavlon through text, true?
Correct.
Through Skype, true?
It's true.
Through a laptop, true? Email messages, true?
True.
Through just telephone calls, true?
That's correct.
I have no further questions, Judge, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. He is excused. Any other witnesses from the state?
No, Judge, the state rests.
Okay, folks, there's some legal things we need to take up once the state rests, so I'm going to excuse you and ask you to go back to the jury, okay? Then you can leave your notebooks.
Yeah, I agree. Like, who uses Skype anymore? I didn't even know that was a thing.
I use Skype.
I don't. Do you?
No, I don't. I use WhatsApp. That's what I'm using.
Yeah,
Where
there's
I
like.
called Iris and she's like, "Who's that weirdo who's calling me?"
Oh yeah.
Who
What?
do you
Yeah.
think when it's a Danish number? You
All right, have a seat, everybody.
No, when she's.
All right, the jury's left.
I've been up for
And,
hours.
The state's rested now. Anything else from the state at this juncture?
I guess I just want to confirm with Madam Clerk that all of the exhibits that were entered and admitted.
Yes,
Thank you. Then nothing else from the state.
Mr. Galaviz or Mr. Wolf?
Your Honor, I'd actually, I would move for a directed verdict at this time.
I think it's a
Or motion to dismiss,
motion
I'm
to
sorry.
dismiss at this time. What's the basis?
Your Honor, I believe that the state has not, that a reasonable jury, given the presentation of testimony and evidence from the state, could not support, a reasonable jury could not find beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Pahl committed the charges in the information.
All right, any response from the state?
Yes.
In the light most favorable to the non-moving party, I think the evidence is circumstantial but significant, and I believe that there is sufficient evidence for a reasonable jury to find the defendant.
So for reasons set out on the record, I'm going to deny a motion to dismiss at this time. The state's case is a circumstantial case. It's a case
Trash.
that indicates, if looking at their evidence in a light most favorable to them, that on August 23rd of 2022, Ms. Pavlons was missing, not seen afterwards until her body was found on September 9th, about 17 days later or so, that she had been in the company of Mr. Pahl upon leaving their apartment that morning, that she was seen on video at a quick trip in the proximity to the place where Mr. Pahl had a medical appointment, that Mr. Pahl was seen on video returning to his apartment at approximately 11 o'clock or a minute or two after that, on the 23rd of August, 2022.
We have seen.
And that Ms. Pavlons was nowhere to be seen at that time. He then was seen bringing in her, what appeared to be her pink water bottle, and if, in a light most favorable to the state, bringing in her purse as well inside a plastic bag. And again, she was not seen any time after that. Her body was subsequently discovered on September 9th. There is unknown manner of death, unknown cause of death. But we have evidence as well that between the August 23rd date and before it was public and before it was known to Ms. Pavlon's family on or about the 12th of September, Mr. Pahl or his father, or I should say on devices, electronic devices belonging to Mr. Pahl and his father Marvin Pahl, various searches and not going to use a brand name, but internet searches were made inquiring about Stephanie Pavlons, about death, about people reported missing, and so on. And there's a lot of information about upticks in the use of a police scanner app when certain things happened. When Mr. Pahl saw law enforcement at the scene on September 9th, his actions were such that it indicated that he may have known something about her death before it was announced publicly. So I'm going to find that at this juncture, and I'm not including all the other evidence that's out there, but communications with people in the Philippines, acknowledgments about something bad happening, tracking cell phones, contact with his father and Marvin Pahl's device being used to do research or look things up related to Ms. Pavlon's obituaries, death, bodies being found, and so on. I'm going to find that there is sufficient information, again, circumstantially, to believe that the state could meet its burden of proof on both counts, and so I'll deny the motion to dismiss at this time. What's going to happen with the defense? How many witnesses?
2, possibly 3, Judge.
Okay, and is your client going to testify? Do you know at this juncture?
No, sir.
You do not know, or he's not going to?
Do not know.
Okay, all right, then will anything before we bring the jurors back?
Did I go see if the witnesses are out there?
They better be out
Yeah,
there.
we had that construction guy come back at 1.
Oh, yeah, so he's 3.
You gonna go check?
Yeah, just double check.
Let's go, let's go.
What are you saying, yeah, let's go to them when you're the state's over there meandering around all day?
Jurors back.
They said they didn't know if he was testifying. Yeah. He said 2, maybe 3, Sue. I don't know if that's total or if that's just today.
It's in total, as I understood it. I'm not. I was just replying to something. I'm sorry. I have a lot
He's
of.
ignoring us.
I have a lot of things going on right now. Everyone is Did you see this? Have you
Sorry,
heard
all
that?
14 jurors have returned. Have a seat,
What do you
everybody.
think this
Ladies and
means?
gentlemen, as we know, the state's rested at this time.
Stop being
Now,
cryptic
Mr.
online.
We'll call you first witness.
Defense calls Jason Pomelsky.
All right. Sir, if you come up to the witness stand to my right here, please.
Sorry, I thought we were just about there.
Testimony you're about to give.
What happened to that 15 felon guy?
Maybe they didn't really need him. I don't know.
I wanted a guy on the stand with 15 felonies. That could be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie, you are always trying to rain on my parade.
I rain all over it. Downpour.
You and Brandon are Debbie Downers.
Before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. All right. Have a seat,
Yeah, the
sir.
state rested.
Can you tell us your name, please?
Sorry. As always, we'll put up the poll. Did the state convince you?
Jason, J-A-S-O-N? Correct. Spell the last name, please.
Denoske.
All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. Galavis.
Thank you, Judge. Jason, where do you work
I work at Findorf Construction.
and what do you do for them?
I'm a carpenter.
And on August 23rd, 2022, who are you working for?
I was working for G.H. Findorf, but we were hired by Pro Health to pound a no trespassing signs that day.
And where was the no trespassing sign supposed to be placed?
Around a couple properties they kind of own around an orthopedic building off Gulf Road, I-94.
And did you go there by yourself to do this project, or were you with
No,
anybody
there
else?
was three of us.
Who were the other two?
It's Nick Fricano and John Bergeson.
And was anyone there in charge of the project?
Yes, that's Nick Fricano.
And again, you were there on behalf of Pro Health?
That's correct.
And what kind of signs were you posting? What was on signs?
They were just a basic no trespassing sign. They were putting around the complete perimeter of their properties.
So that would have been on the east side of the building, true?
Yes,
Did you post
east
any?
and west.
So did you post any on the back side of the building?
I believe some of it kind of wrapped back there, but I can't say for sure. There was a number of trespassing signs.
I'm going to show you as what's been marked as exhibit number 14, just the juror, and you can publish it. And publish to the jury.
Yes, that's already been admitted, right.
No, exhibit number 400, I mean.
Well, okay, I'm sorry, which number?
400, 400.
400?
Yes, Judge, sorry about that.
All right. That's not been used yet, right? Nope. Okay, go ahead. Wait, you don't have an objection to it?
Don't have an objection.
Okay, very good. Go ahead.
It's going to come on your screen. Let me know when it's on your screen there.
I got it.
Do you see it on the screen?
I do.
Does that appear to be the area that you posted on August 23rd, 2022?
Yes, this was one of the sections.
And you were the one handling the signs?
Correct.
Was it you and
John Bergeson.
John Bergson were the ones handling the signs?
Correct.
And I take it the other individual was the person telling you where to put them?
That is correct.
And do you recall what time you started the project?
I'm thinking it was earlier in the morning, 8 o'clock maybe. We started pounding signs, 8 or 9. It was somewhere in there, I think.
And where did you commence pounding the signs, you specifically?
Well, it would be the last. It would have been the last one we pounded in. That in this back of the tree line by the golf course.
And it's safe to say that you guys always stayed together when you did this project?
That's correct. I mean, Nick would take the lead and kind of check out maybe the next spot in a couple areas, but we follow him.
So there was a road crew out there when he killed her as well.
I'm showing you it's been marked, or defense exhibit number 401. Do you see that?
I do.
Does that appear to be an area? Well, in that area you can see the golf course, true?
Yes, true.
And there's a wooded area in front of the
That's
golf
correct.
course?
That's correct.
Did you mark that area?
With yeah, in the back of it.
And do you see
Where?
the part of the?
They were out there
on the,
before?
right there?
Say that again.
Yeah, he said they started at 8, 9 o'clock, and he arrived at his appointment at 9:20 something, I think.
Yeah, it was well after, because I think his appointment was at like 10 or something like that.
Yeah, he had yeah, something like that.
You see part of the building on your right?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's a good find.
And again, during this time where you're pounding this part of the no trespassing signs, you're all three of you still together?
That's
too?
correct.
Did there come a point in time that something caught your attention or one of the three's attention about something in the woods?
Yes, it did.
What was that?
We weren't sure at first. Nick's the one who actually went over there and checked it out while Rock and I, John Burgess,n that's his nickname, were pounding it for the last sign.
So Nick got your attention.
Yes,
And did you walk over by Nick?
we both did. Similar time frame. Both at the same time, we followed in. Once he said something like, I see a guy or I see something laying. So we followed over there and kind of checked it out and see what was going on.
And when you heard Nick say that, where was he standing in relationship to the woods of the golf course? Was he inside
He went
the woods
in-
or the outside of the woods?
No, we were into the wood frame, probably the woods about, I would say maybe 10 feet. He cut towards the other side, the Gulf Road side. That's where he spotted it.
He cut over to the other side through the woods?
Cut through, but not completely through the woods. It was just on the other side.
Was there a path going through the woods there?
It wasn't really a path. I don't remember that.
When you walked in, did you see what he was referring to?
Yes,
How far away were you from what he was referring to?
we all got within about 15 feet, I'd say roughly, of it.
And did you know, or did you ever figure out what that was laying there in the woods?
Well, as time went on, kind of checking it out for a few seconds, we all settled on the fact that we're looking at a corpse here.
Yeah, could you tell did you make any guess or figure or thought as to whether or not to strike that? Did you know whether or not the corpse was a human versus
Sorry, I'm wrong. That's not the day she died. That's after. Stupid me.
an animal?
I was
It was
wondering.
pretty evident when you saw.
What was that
thought as
question?
to did you make any guess or figure or thought as to whether or not to strike that? Did you know whether or not the corpse was a human versus an animal?
You had all weekend to prepare for these questions, and you can't ask one question.
But why is this guy here? Like, we already know this, that they found her. Like, what relevant
know.
information is he going to give?
I'd say it was pretty evident when you saw shoes and stuff on it, yes.
So you thought what this was a human versus an animal in the woods,
That's correct.
and you had a thought as to the whether and that was a female or male.
When I approach it, I assumed, I'm not a dead body expert of what gender they are, but I saw what I thought looked like women's shoes on the body.
And so you thought it was a woman,
The coloring is, I think, what sold me on it.
and you thought it was a woman laying there.
I thought, but I couldn't tell by the rest of the body.
Did you exit the woods with the other two?
That's correct.
Do you know, did somebody contact the police?
Yes, Nick Picano did.
Did the police arrive on the scene?
Get to
Yes, they
the
did.
How long did
ER.
it take for the police to arrive on the scene?
Get fixed up, Brandon.
15 minutes.
Did you get interviewed by any of the police officers?
I'm going to say this was a couple years ago, but maybe a short period of time.
Did you tell the police officer what you saw?
We filed police reports, so yeah.
Did you tell the police officer that you thought it was a woman?
I believe so. I believe that was on the report.
I have no further questions, John.
Cross-examination?
Thank you. Mr. Panaski, you were asked some questions. This was on September 9th of 2022, not
Yeah.
August 23rd, right?
Yeah?
That sound right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're there on September 9th with your coworkers to pound in some no trespassing signs. And you said that based on the shoes is what made you believe that this was a female?
That's what I felt, yeah.
Okay. Did you talk to anyone about this other than law enforcement that day at OAW?
No.
Did you go inside OAW?
No.
Did you tell anyone that walked by that you found a woman in the woods?
There actually was somebody that approached us. I believe it was a woman. And she asked what had been found. And I think somebody out of our group might have said, we discovered a body.
Okay. So that's all you're sharing with anyone other than law enforcement?
That's correct.
Okay. And you said that you assumed based on the color of the shoes that it was a woman?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Nothing else stuck out to you that made you think that was a woman?
No.
Okay. You said you couldn't tell by the rest of the body because of the condition of the
It was
body?
in poor condition, yes.
Decomposed?
It looked like it had been there for quite some time.
I don't have any other questions.
All right, any redirect?
No, sir, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Konosky. Appreciate you being here, so you're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
Next witness.
Next subject.
Please be seated. Could you tell us your name, please?
Yes, my name is Dr. Stacy, Stacey, Hale, Hail.
Have we seen her before in a trial?
I don't know. She doesn't look familiar to me.
Maybe it's because she kind of looks like Penilla.
She She does have Penilla's hair,
Yeah.
long hair.
If she carries around a few bearded dragons and yells at us in Swedish, we know it's Pernilla.
like a hailstorm.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Galaviz or Mr. Galaviz. Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Hale, you currently employed,
Yes.
and where do you work?
I am an associate professor at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center located in Dallas, Texas. And I staff the emergency department at Parkland Hospital, which is also located in Dallas. It's also where JFK was taken when he was shot, and the single busiest emergency department in the United States.
Did she work on JFK?
And at the hospital, what
That's cool.
capacity do you work?
Can you repeat that?
At the hospital, what do you do?
I am an emergency physician, and I'm also a medical toxicologist.
I'm showing you what's marked as defense exhibit number 441, and just for the witness. Is that on your screen, Doctor?
That is my CD.
And a CV is what?
A curriculum vitae, kind of like a resume, but more in the academic setting.
I'm gonna scroll through it just to double check. And did you draft this purposely for this file, or is your CV?
Yes.
It appears to be 33 pages long.
Yes.
Does the CV discuss your qualifications?
Yes.
Does it discuss your background?
Yes.
Judge, you move exhibit number 41 and have it published to the jury.
An objection?
No, sir.
All right, it's admitted and you may publish it.
And just for the record, it's exhibit number 441. Let me go through the CV with you, just and the jury. Now, page 1 of exhibit number 441 lists your education.
Yes.
Could you briefly describe your education to the jury?
Well, I received a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. And that was followed by obtaining my medical doctor degree at the Medical College of Georgia in Augusta, Georgia. And then I returned to Dallas, Texas, where I did my internship and residency at UT Southwestern, and that was at Parkland Hospital. And my residency was in emergency medicine. And then I did a 2-year fellowship in medical toxicology, and that was also through Parkland Hospital and the North Texas Poison Center, which is located at Parkland Hospital.
So you indicated that you're a professor, true?
I'm an associate professor in the Department of Emergency Medicine at UT Southwestern.
And you also work with the Poison Center?
Yes.
She just said that.
Now, page 1 also lists your professional work experience, true?
Yes.
Could you briefly discuss that with the jury?
Well, I've been whether a clinical professor all the way up to an associate professor at UT Southwestern since I finished my medical toxicology fellowship or actually my emergency medicine residency. And in the medical toxicology fellowship, you also continue working in the emergency department. So that's been since 2002.
Page 1 also discusses your professional certifications, true?
Yes.
And what are they?
I am board certified by the American Board of Emergency Medicine, and I'm also board certified. It's actually a sub-board of emergency medicine called medical toxicology.
And are you still board certified today in both of those?
I continue to be board certified in both specialties.
Now, page 2 of your CV lists your licenses?
Yes.
And what are they?
I hold a medical license in the state of Texas since 2001, a Texas Controlled Substance registration since 2001, a DEA registration that's to prescribe substances since 2001, and I am from Texas, so I have a concealed handgun license.
Page 2 also lists your honors and awards?
Yes.
And could you briefly outline those to the jury?
Well, the most recent and pertinent awards that I have received, first, fellowship status by the American College of Medical Toxicology, and that is a distinction within medical toxicology when you've practiced for a number of years in that field. And then I received an award by the Organized Crime and Drug Enforcement Task Force. It was a national award, and that's associated with the Department of Justice, and it was for specifically assisting federal agents and federal prosecutors in combating the threat of fentanyl in communities in the Pacific region of the United States.
Now, page 3 through 22 discusses cases that you've worked on or testified to as a medical expert witness, true?
Yes, and this is not my most up-to-date CV because I'm constantly adding to it, but for the most part, yes.
So she's a
And could
professional.
you go
with
through
this.
some of those cases that you've listed for the jury?
Yes, I have testified in civil matters, basically on both sides, plaintiff and defense. And then I have also testified in criminal matters. The vast majority of cases that I have been asked to work on are at the federal level, largely pertaining to federal drug crime, and for many, many years, the opioid epidemic, and then followed by the fentanyl crisis. But I have also testified at the state level approximately 9 times for the prosecution, and this would be my 3rd time for the defense in a state criminal matter.
So you've testified in a criminal matter at the federal level?
Yes.
And
Grandpa, just shut up. You have a professional witness who is doing exactly what she should do. She is giving you the foundation that she's not biased towards the defense because she normally testifies for the state. Stop asking these slow-ass questions.
how many times have you testified at the federal level?
Approximately 50 or 60 times for the prosecution,
Have you ever testified for the defense at the federal level?
not in a criminal matter.
Have any of these cases that you've testified to involved homicides?
Can you repeat that?
Have any of these cases involved homicides?
Yes.
Percentage-wise, how many of the cases that you've testified to involve homicides?
They're a smaller fraction compared to overall federal drug crime, but all of them essentially focus on a cause of death testimony.
When was the last case that you testified to as to the cause of death?
Let's see. That would have been in August in Nebraska for a federal drug crime case.
Were any of these cases that you testified to involved controlled substances and homicide?
Yes.
Approximately how many of those have been controlled substances and homicides?
Most of them, at the federal level with federal drug crime, we are talking about violations of the Controlled Substances Act, and there is a law called the Len Bias Law. Len Bias was a University of Maryland basketball player who got drafted by the Boston Celtics, and the night that he got drafted, he did cocaine in his dorm and developed intractable seizures and had a cardiac arrest and died. So his mom lobbied Congress for stiffer penalties for drug dealers who distribute a controlled substance that leads to death or serious bodily injury. And then another version of the Controlled Substances Act is specifically geared towards bad doctors and the ones that run pill mills. In other words, they are prescribing many controlled substances outside the realm of professional practice and without a legitimate purpose. And so my testimony at this federal level is either regarding death or serious bodily injury as it pertains to a drug dealer, but also when there are deaths in a physician's practice pertaining to a controlled substance.
Have you ever testified in any cases involving intentional homicide?
Involving what?
Intentional homicide.
Yes.
How many? And can you describe those?
I have testified in a case here in Wisconsin, in Kenosha, and that was for the defense, and that was pertaining to an ethylene glycol poisoning case. I have been involved in grand jury testimony in Las Vegas pertaining to another ethylene glycol case, but that was obviously for the prosecution since that was grand jury testimony. I was involved in grand jury testimony in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where a husband killed her wife, or a wife killed her husband with Benadryl and then took him out on Lake Coeur d'Alene and pushed him off the boat. I have had a case
Brandon, earmuffs on your wife now.
of homicide, albeit at the federal level for some reason, that involved the death of
she was in
a
the
little girl
antifreeze case.
who was kidnapped from a
Did we watch that?
No, I watched it. I believe it's I forgot what the guy's name is. God dang it. He had a retrial in Wisconsin. Was his name Mark something? But they accused him of like killing his wife with antifreeze. I think that's where I've seen her now that she said that.
Which case was it where they drugged the smoothies?
That guy I think was like in Colorado or something like that.
We watch too much crimes.
Yeah.
Birthday party and was drugged with methamphetamine and other prescription or non-prescription medications and murdered and dumped at a dump. And I testified also at the federal level, even though it was a homicide, about a case in Texas where a nurse stole a drug called etomidate from the hospital.
Judge, I mean, you're gonna have to spell that for the court reporter.
Etomidate is ETOMIDATE. This is a drug that we use to give patients before we intubate them or sometimes before procedures. And in this particular case, the individual injected his friend with etomidate to render him unconscious and then shot him in the head and stole some money from him. I think that's the ones on the top of my head right now.
You ever testify in a case involving an accidental homicide? Accidental homicide, any cases?
Well, I don't know what you mean exactly by accidental homicide.
Yeah, accidental death.
There are certainly accidental overdoses.
An accidental homicide. Jamie, I'm going to send a link to Sue, and then you and Sue can run this.
Okay.
Which are many of the drug dealer cases and doctor-related cases that I've seen where not that it's necessarily an intentional or suicidal overdose of a medication, but someone that has a repeated super therapeutic ingestion, meaning you keep taking more and more than you should. And of course, most people that are shooting up heroin or fentanyl don't mean to kill themselves.
Yeah, how to hide it. Don't call this one.
Are there any kind of homicide cases that you've testified to that I failed to ask you about?
Not that I can think of on the top of my mind right now.
And when you've testified in these cases, were you testifying as a medical toxicologist expert or a medical emergency?
Oh, that's the case.
Well, you can't differentiate the two. As an emergency physician, my expertise is in managing all comers to the emergency department. So whether it's trauma, whether it's a heart attack, whether it's a stroke, whether it's an overdose, whether it's a psychiatric problem, so anything that presents to the emergency department, and that is part of my expertise, is being able to not just have tunnel vision, but as a medical toxicologist, as a sub-board of emergency medicine, most people find that confusing, but a medical toxicologist's expertise is in the management and treatment, diagnosis of poisoned patients. And most of the time, those are emergencies. So an overdose, a snake bite, a chemical exposure. And of course, there's things like asbestos exposure and cancer from factories that you work at that is more long-term, and that falls more into occupational toxicology. So my role as a cause of death expert when I am asked to review cases is not just wearing the tunnel vision of a medical toxicologist, but to look at the case as a whole, look for traumatic causes of death, look for natural causes of death, consider an arrhythmia, and look at the toxicology.
So have you ever, in these cases, do you render an opinion as to the cause of death?
Yes.
In what percentage of these cases do you render an opinion as to the cause of death?
Well, with regard to federal cases, there is a standard that I have to meet, which is the but-for cause of death. So typically, medical examiners will render a cause of death, which is, in terms of toxicology cases, they will list all of the substances that are found post-mortem. And it's not very common to find just one substance post-mortem. So therefore, they need, in order to render a but-for cause of death opinion, meaning but for this particular substance, this person would not have died, you need to have a medical toxicologist review that toxicology testing in the context of the totality of the evidence. And about 50% of the time when the federal government asks me to review a federal level death case, I cannot meet that but-for standard because there may be some fact or some hole in the investigation that renders it not possible to render a but-for cause of death opinion.
Have you reviewed, I mean, you've testified for the federal level and state level for the prosecution, true?
Yes.
Have you reviewed other cases for the prosecution that
Hey, Nicola.
it wasn't necessary for you to testify, but you reviewed the case anyways?
I've reviewed hundreds and hundreds of cases where I will write a report and the defendant may plead guilty or the case resolves in some way such that I don't ever have to go to court and testify.
Judge, if I haven't done so, let's keep page on your CV. I'm strong through all the cases that you've testified. True?
Yes.
See if she's read. You can.
Or I should say
have her as an expert.
all of these cases are cases where I have rendered a report and been designated as an expert witness. If I actually testified, that is listed on the CV under that case.
Page 22 of your CV lists your research experience, true?
Yes.
And could you briefly outline that to the jury?
When I was in high school, I was a science nerd and I entered the science fair every year. I was working with Dr. Pahl in Milledgeville, Georgia, and I was doing cancer research with him and entered my research every year to the science fair. And my senior year, I won the state of Georgia science fair and got to go to the international science fair. And then this other research includes some of my undergraduate chemistry research that was at SMU.
Same page, your CV discusses your presentations.
Yes.
Could you discuss those with the jury?
Yes. And again, my most recent presentation, which was not on this CV that I gave you, was for the high intensity drug trafficking authority association. I can't think of what the last letter is, and that's involving fentanyl. I speak at my kids' high school festival every year. And then our senator from the state of Texas introduced a bill called the Fight Illicit Pill Presses Act. And I was asked to come present about those findings. And then I have helped to train DEA agents, FBI agents. I've gone to Quantico to teach and basically teaching them about opioids and other controlled substances.
Come on, qualify her.
It appears that most of your presentations have been with law enforcement.
Yes, kind of a parallel universe to my my cases that involve opioids and fentanyl or other controlled substances for the federal government. A lot of cases involve sudden death in custody cases, and these are different kinds of drugs that cause this. These would be things more along the lines of cocaine or methamphetamine or PCP, some of these drugs that cause people to be very agitated, and they will end up dying in police custody. And so I often teach our law enforcement with regard to how to manage these types of very complicated cases, because they of course become very high profile cases in the media.
I think page 29 discusses your publications
Yes,
you published.
yes.
Could you outline what you published to the jury?
Some of my publications have involved these death in custody cases and hyperactive delirium or severe agitation. This was part of the American College of Emergency Physicians task force. Again, these kinds of cases are very challenging, and so we're always looking for better ways to restrain patients that are in police custody that are very agitated. The National Association of Medical Examiners position paper was medical examiners and us, the medical toxicologists, that got together to discuss best practices for rendering cause of death opinions in the setting of opioid toxicity, and the other things are not necessarily relevant.
Your CV also discusses your media appearances. Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Could you briefly discuss that with the jury?
Well, I end up doing a number of media-related appearances, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, just because sometimes cases end up in the media and are high profile, and also because a lot of poisoning murder cases are of public interest. So I have been on Dateline NBC. I have been on Snapped, which is a crime show where women snap and attempt murder or commit murder. Not that I was the one that snapped. And Vengeance Killer Coworkers, as well as Court TV and other news broadcasts, kind of warning the public about different new street drugs to keep in mind or watch out for. Of course, for a number of years, the concern was that there were counterfeit pills that contained fentanyl, and so, of course, warning the public.
You, again, testified that you have rendered an opinion in a court of law as to cause of death, true?
True.
Have your opinion under both hats or just one hat?
Say that again?
Under both hats? I mean, you're an expert medical toxicologist, and you're an expert medical in medicine, true?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the form of the question and the labeling of expert.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Well, you've testified as an emergency medicine doctor, true?
Yes.
Have your opinions always been accepted in a court of law?
Yes.
As a result of your medical qualifications, do you use those at Parkland Medical?
Yes.
And describe, typically, what do you do at Parkland Medical?
Well, it depends on the day. If I am working in the emergency department, I would be working as an attending physician, and I may either see patients on my own or I will supervise residents and interns and students that are rotating in the emergency department. When I am on call as a medical toxicologist, the way it works is the first Thursday through the first Monday every other month. I'm on call 24/7 for that period of time, and that involves teaching at the Poison Center academic rounds, because we have a number of different kinds of physicians that rotate to learn medical toxicology, and that is a more academic endeavor. And then covering any poisoned patient that presents to Parkland, our Children's Hospital, or our UT Southwestern Hospital. And then oftentimes we cover phone calls from all over North Texas for healthcare providers that are asking for assistance with management of a poisoned patient. I think a lot of people understand that you can call the Poison Center if your child gets into something under the sink, and it's very common for parents to call. But probably what a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of physicians will also call the poison center for guidance on managing poisoned patients at their particular healthcare setting. And since we can't obviously be everywhere at one time, those types of phone calls are managed by phone.
So you have doctors calling you too for poison questions,
Yes.
and parents,
Parents.
law enforcement.
I have heard that law enforcement might call from time to time for identification of a pill that has a label, the pharmacy label on it. That isn't needed as much anymore because you could probably look it up on the internet now, but before the internet, that was kind of a use that law enforcement might have at the poison center.
Again, how long you been working at Parkland?
I started my residency in 1999.
And strictly in the emergency room area?
From 99 to 2002 was in the emergency department as a resident. From 2002 to 2004, I was serving as faculty in emergency medicine, but I was doing a fellowship in medical toxicology, and that was through the North Texas Poison Center and covering Parkland Children's and UT Southwestern Hospital.
Now, when you worked in the emergency room, I take it you saw all kind of patients.
All kinds of patients.
And you indicated that's the most busiest emergency facility in the whole country.
It has held that distinction in U.S. News and World Report for a number of years.
And you've treated, take it, people who have suffered gunshot wounds?
Yes.
And approximately how many have you treated for gunshot wounds?
Objection to the relevance, Your Honor.
It's relevance.
Yes.
Well, I guess we don't know how Miss Pavlon's
We know there was no gunshot wound, you
lost
idiot.
her life, so there hasn't just covering gunshot homicides, her experience in dealing with them.
There isn't anything on this record that says she died by gun.
I'll take that as a fact then. So have you dealt?
So the objection.
If the body was decomposed, but she was shot in the head or the torso or in the artery or somewhere, it would have shown up, even though animals had gone in her. You would see it. I hate this guy, Jamie. I hate him. I hate him like I hate Panera Bread.
Unbridled passion.
With an unbridled passion. Did you see any attack from Alexis?
I didn't.
No. Oh.
But why can't he just say it already and say, can I qualify her as an expert? Christ almighty, come on.
Let's just get on to it. I think he is a public defender.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Sustained. Next question.
No gunshot.
No gunshot. Yeah. You don't have to ask that question again, you idiot.
Have you dealt with any patients who have been stabbed?
Yes.
Approximately how many?
Too numerous to count.
More than 1,000?
I would probably not 1,000, but in the hundreds.
So have these patients who've been stabbed, have any of them passed?
Yes.
The number, anybody of them who have come in with stab wounds who, but for the grace of God, did not die?
Yes.
And were these patients like stabbed at one particular location on the body, or was it all over any particular body?
All over the place.
And what kind of were these patients that you saw that were stabbed? Did majority of them, or if not, have clothing on?
Well, some might have clothing, some might not.
Were any of those patients that you saw have clothing on their upper body?
Yes.
I take it, men and women?
Yes.
Approximately how many of those patients that were stabbed were females?
I couldn't say.
Is it safe to say that the females that you saw were clothed?
I can't think of anybody in particular right
That's
now.
a
I'm
dumb
just speaking
question.
in general.
I don't know. It's
As far as those that were clothed, and only stabbed in the upper area of their body, what kind of injuries would you see, internal injuries?
Well, if somebody is stabbed in the upper part of their body, there's obviously very critical real estate, so to speak, the heart, the lungs, solid organs, and somebody that would die from a stab wound to the upper body would have a significant amount of blood loss if that was what they died from.
Would there be a lot of blood on their clothing?
Yes.
And that's only of those who were stabbed in past.
Or stabbed and critically injured. The concern would be, I mean, you could stab somebody in the leg and hit a major artery and you would bleed to death and there would be blood all over the pants. Or you could stab somebody in the chest and just happen to miss anything important and they don't die and there's not significant blood loss.
Have you dealt there at the emergency room with patients who were brought in and had overdosed?
Oh, yes.
Approximately how many of those patients had overdosed that were brought into the emergency department while you were working?
It's been too numerous to count, over 20 years.
And what was the typical drug or drugs that these patients overdosed on?
Well, it can be a number of things. I think the most common thing to overdose on would certainly be over-the-counter medications, things like Tylenol, which is very toxic to the liver. Aspirin is very toxic. People will overdose on their prescription psychiatric medications frequently. And then, of course, for a number of years, overdosing on prescription opioids or illicit substances is also a very large problem, which is why there's been the opioid epidemic.
Any of these patients that you treated, did any of them come in for seizures?
Yes, I would say I see a patient with seizures at least once a shift.
And what kind of symptoms do you see of these patients with seizures?
Frequently, patients that have seizures, you know that they might either shake uncontrollably, but they can also become very rigid. One of the concerns is them biting their tongue, and that is a finding when someone has had a seizure that lets you know that they probably really did have a seizure. And then another thing that is not uncommon when somebody suffers a seizure is to have urinary incontinence.
What does that mean? What you just?
Oh my God.
Urinary incontinence means to basically pee on yourself or lose your bladder. It's not something that that person can control.
Any patients that were brought into your emergency room that dealt with having been suffocated?
Yes.
And what symptoms, if any, did you see on those patients?
Well, there are people that can be suffocated either by strangulation and compression to the neck. And if that's by hands or by significant force, then there's a bone in the neck called the hyoid bone, and that frequently can fracture in a situation like that. Not 100% of the time, but when you see that, that is concerning for some type of neck trauma. And it also has constriction of the arteries that go to your brain. So as soon as the blood is not getting, or the brain is not getting blood and oxygen, you can lose consciousness and pass out. And another thing that you can see with compression is what are called petechiae, which is spelled P-E-T-E-C-H-I-A-E, which are teeny tiny little punctate bruises that you would see from your neck up on the face. And that's not uncommon with compression to the neck.
Now, in this case, I contact you to render an opinion as to the cause of death of Stephanie Pavlon's true?
True.
And did you make an opinion in this case?
Your Honor, I'm going to object based on prior rulings of this court.
What?
I'll
overrule the objection at this juncture, but Mr. Galaviz, you're very well
Yes,
aware
sir.
of my prior rulings.
We have a not guilty
What
club.
material
Either
did
urine
you
or
have
you're
to
out.
rule or
Good one,
strike
Zach.
that review to make that determination?
I not only reviewed the autopsy report, the toxicology testing, the police reports, the photos from the scene, the autopsy photos, text messages, medical records of Stephanie Pavlon's. There was some video footage that I reviewed, or still shots of video footage, transcripts of interviews of Matthew Pahl, of other family members. So I am rendering a cause of death opinion with the totality of the evidence.
Are you medically licensed to prescribe prescription drugs?
Yes.
Based upon your review of the medical records of Ms. Pavlon's, did you note whether or not Ms. Pavlon's was prescribed medication during the year of 2022?
Yes.
Was she prescribed alprazolam?
Yes.
Have you ever prescribed alprazolam?
I have, but we try not to.
Strike that. What's alprazolam prescribed for?
Alprazolam, also known as Xanax, is what's called a benzodiazepine, which is benzodiazepine. And a benzodiazepine is a drug that is prescribed for anxiety, and it is a sedative hypnotic. It works actually very similar to alcohol, the same receptors, very similar. And basically the reason why we don't like to try to prescribe it continuously is because it does have a high addiction potential.
Exactly.
And there is also a withdrawal syndrome associated with Xanax. Just like you might have heard of alcohol withdrawal, or DTs, which is delirium tremens. One of the life-threatening consequences of alcohol withdrawal is having these DTs and seizures. Benzodiazepines like Xanax also have a withdrawal syndrome that can cause seizures in patients that don't have epilepsy. It can cause them in anybody, which is why we try not to prescribe them chronically.
Based upon your review of the records, was she prescribed oxycodone?
Yes.
Have you ever prescribed oxycodone?
Yes.
What's the purpose of oxycodone? Why do people get prescribed that?
Oxycodone is an opioid pain medication, and it is used to treat pain.
It's not similar to alprazolam, is it, as far as being addiction?
Of course, you can become addicted to opioids, but opioids work at opioid receptors, whereas Xanax works at a receptor called the GABA receptor. Not necessary to understand all of the complexities of those receptors. Both types of medications are addictive, but oxycodone works at opioid receptors. And part of the toxicity of opioids is it causes something called the opioid toxidrome. Toxidrome is the words toxic plus syndrome mashed together in one, and it's a bread and butter term that we use in medical toxicology, and that is the constellation of signs and symptoms that are unique to a certain substance. So all opioids cause the same kind of toxicity, which is pinpoint pupils, so your pupils get teeny tiny, and then central nervous system depression, which is anywhere from being very sleepy to comatose, and then finally and most importantly, respiratory depression, which is when you're breathing slower and slower until you stop breathing and die. Now, Xanax, those benzodiazepine, which is when you're breathing slower and slower until you stop breathing and die. Now, Xanax, those benzodiazepines, can cause central nervous system depression in an overdose situation, but not specifically respiratory depression like the opioids. The respiratory depression associated with opioids like oxycodone is much different from what you see with the sedatives, which is why there was an opioid epidemic, a fentanyl crisis, because of that respiratory depression.
Was Ms. Pavlon prescribed buprenorphine?
Yes.
Could you spell that, please?
Judge, I'm sorry, I'm going to object again based on the court's prior ruling.
I'm going to have a hearing outside the presence of the jury, okay?
All rise for the jury.
Oh my God, get to it. Pretty much gonna be done with her testimony before you rule her as an expert.
She hasn't been qualified yet, has she?
No. He hasn't asked the question yet. Why does your camera look like that?
I don't know why it keeps skipping back and forth, but
Okay. But that's what
I changed it
Have
again.
a seat, everybody.
This is only the fourth time
back.
today.
So, Ms. Opper, his last question was whether Ms. Pavlon was prescribed a certain substance.
Yes.
The name escapes me right now, and you objected.
So I agree that question on its face is probably not objectionable, but the concern is, just like what we just had with the alprazolam, Your Honor, in the report that was authored by Dr. Hale, which I have, the last one I have from her is dated August 7th, 2025. There's no reference to alprazolam. There was no alprazolam detected in Ms. Pavlon's toxicology. Yet, they just asked her to opine, how can alprazolam kill you? There's no buprenorphine found in her toxicology, and he's about to go into how can withdrawal from buprenorphine kill you, or what effects can that have. He's implied to this jury that she knows the cause of death, and yet, based on your earlier ruling, she's not going to be able to provide that opinion to the jury. So this is very confusing and misleading. There's no reason to be discussing these drugs that are not part of the toxicology and specifically referenced in her report.
Ms. Galaviz, your response?
Doctor, based upon your review...
No, your response to me.
Oh,
my God.
Judge, there was alprazolam, I believe, in Ms. Pavlon's system. So I'm not sure what the objection is about alprazolam. These were things that Ms. Pavlon's was described, that she was taking during the time of...
She was prescribed, not described.
During that month of... from the summer of 2022. Because of her state, her decomposition, blood was... They couldn't take blood from her, so they only could take it out of her liver. So I think... I know Ms. Opper doesn't want the jury to hear this, but it's unknown whether or not this was in her system because of, but alprazolam was because of the decomposition of...
Pixie says, time flies, love you, Baker, but Jamie is my favorite. 2 years.
Aww,
Thank you, Pixie.
Pixie.
And you, well...
Pixie is my favorite.
The body
Look at
and the
her
lack
pretty
of blood.
face. Oh.
But
So I'm looking at Dr. Hale's report, page 14. Do you have your report with you, Doctor?
I don't have it with me, but I would like to.
Put up, so
I could give it to her, Judge.
I'm going to show her, there's page 14, and it says positive findings, and it mentions a number of substances. That's document 156 from our file, and we'll just put up that document. 163, document 163, I'm sorry. I apologize, Madam Clerk. As always, you're right. Page 14.
She has lots of stuff in her system. Is that what he said? I mean, come on now. Come on, Sue.
Should come up shortly, Doctor. It's frozen. All right.
Judge, I could show her if you want me to. I have an exhibit.
All right, bring it up.
It would be defense exhibit number 442. You want me to go to page 14?
Yes, sir.
They're arguing over what substances were found in her body. They're trying to say that the Xanax wasn't. The prosecution is.
Doctor, page 14 lists positive findings. Those are the substances that were reported to you to be present in some tissue, correct?
Correct.
From the autopsy report or the toxicology report, correct?
Correct.
All right. Mr. Galaviz, you can ask her where alprazolam is in there or some kind of substance or derivative of that.
Doctor, you're from this NMS report. Where is alprazolam connected to those substances found in Miss Pavlov's?
So alprazolam is not on the toxicology findings. It is a medication that was prescribed to Miss Pavlov's.
But you don't dispute that it was prescribed to her, Ms. Opper?
It was prescribed,
Okay.
but,
Right, no, I understand.
okay,
But it wasn't found in her system.
correct.
Right.
She
So,
was
and then
heavily
oxycodone or its derivative?
Come on.
So what other objections do you have,
So
ma'am?
that was on there, and that's in her report on the bottom of page 14, that oxymorphone was found?
Right, a metabolite of oxycodone.
Yes.
So your
So-
concern was the
The
alprazolam.
alprazolam and then the buprenorphine.
And what is buprenorphine, which was just testified about? What substance is that, doctor? Does it have a common name or generic name?
Do you want me to answer?
Yes, doctor.
Buprenorphine is a medication used for opioid addiction. It does have a brand name Suboxone when it is mixed with Narcan, but buprenorphine is the generic name.
Did she
And
have excuse me for a second, did she have a prescription for it, Mr. Galaviz?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you dispute that, Ms. Opper?
I don't dispute the prescription. I doubt that it was detected.
Okay, all right.
Well, she was.
So I've previously indicated
body was, like,
that
gone. Come on.
the doctor can report about the substances found in Ms. Pavlov's tissue. And we've had other evidence about the tissue or the strength of the findings and so on. So there was a prescription for alprazolam or Xanax, and if there was a prescription for Suboxone and it's some substance in it, I am going to allow that testimony that there may have been a prescription for it. But I think whether or not it's relevant is a subject for cross-examination. But I want to be really clear here. I've made my ruling
Right, Judge.
about what this doctor can report. She can report about the toxicology findings and the other verbiage about the cause of death, what she believed golfers could see or not see. That is off limits. And I think I've made that very clear previously before. And if you get even close to that, I'm not going to wait for an objection. All right?
Right.
to clarify for me,
What?
Mr. Gallery should have done that for you already.
Judge, it did, but I think you ruled that she could not testify as to the manner of death, not the cause of death.
She is able to testify about her beliefs about the toxicology. Right?
Right,
Her
but-
report sets those things out. She says certain things. In each of the substances, she makes findings about, I'm just going to start looking at page 15. The end of the first paragraph. Acute overdose cannot be ruled out. Death from caffeine toxicity is rare and thus unlikely. Death from cotinine, C-O-T-I-N-I-N-E, toxicity is unlikely, etc. She's made those findings about those substances. And I think I've made it very clear about, in the motions in limine, her ability to testify today. And I've made those findings already.
Correct.
Yeah, but
Right,
if we
and I
just
presume you've related them
pretend you
to her
don't-
clearly.
didn't make
It's your
them.
responsibility, not my responsibility today.
Right, and again, your ruling was that she was not to give an opinion as to the manner of death, not the cause of death.
She can testify about the substances that she made findings on and whether or not they contributed to or caused the death. I think I made that clear.
So my concern, Your Honor, is that nowhere in this report does she say the cause of death for Stephanie Pavlons is blank.
I understand that.
So I have a lack of notice as to what she's about to say. Absolutely no idea what she's about to say.
But you do, you have her report, and if she says something else, you can impeach her with it.
But I can't because she never says in the report her cause of death is oxycodone overdose or alprazolam overdose, or she doesn't say what the cause of death is. Her ultimate conclusion is suicide must be considered, which is what you
Specifically indicated was not to be testified to.
correct.
Correct.
And suicide is not a cause of death anyway, it's a manner of death.
Right.
But that's what her report says. But my concern again, Judge, and I'm sorry to be repeating
No,
myself.
you're
but
not.
No,
You're not sorry.
I have no problem if he says to her, was she prescribed alprazolam? Yes, she was prescribed alprazolam. But to allow her to say what are the effects of withdrawal of alprazolam, or can death result from alprazolam, when there's
Yeah.
nothing in this record, gives an improper miscommunication to this jury that, boy, there must be something more here. He could, I believe, my request is he can ask what she's prescribed. But if it's not in her toxicology, we
I don't
don't know
understand
if
why.
she consumed it or not. We just simply don't know. Nobody knows. Dr. Hale doesn't know. I don't know. Nobody knows unless it's in her tox.
I understand that. And I think that's a proper subject for cross-examination. So I'm going to allow that testimony, right? As to what she was
Oh,
prescribed,
the judge made a good
and
call.
perhaps what those substances may or may not do. But again, the fact that there isn't any indication in the toxicology report, and
Yeah,
that
she is one.
whether or not alprazolam could cause X, Y, or Z, that's a fair and appropriate subject for cross-examination, whether or not it was at all present.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll bring the jurors back.
Yeah, because you want to put on a whole speculation case.
yeah.
God forbid they counter it with like, but she's on all these medications and you know what can happen if you're not taking them properly. Of course they should be able to talk about that. I agree with the manner of death. She shouldn't talk about the manner of death, but she can talk about causes.
All right, for the jury.
Oh yeah, I think she's highly afraid of this information because because it does look bad. Because they have no idea how she passed away.
No, and they should be allowed to cast out, but to say, well,
Have a seat,
it's
everybody.
suicide.
Thank you
Suicide
very
is a
much.
manner, not a
Thank you very
cause of
much for
death.
your patience,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. As I indicated,
I-
from time to time,
She
there's
should
gonna
be able to say
legal
it
issue
could
that
be
has
an
to be taken up
overdose.
between the court
Exactly.
and the lawyers. That's exactly what we've done. Mr. Galavis, continue.
Yes, Judge. Doctor, was she prescribed buprenorphine?
Yes,
Have you, for the court reporter, could you spell it, please?
She's got it.
Okay.
Have you ever prescribed that
Yes.
What's the purpose of that medication?
Buprenorphine is nicknamed Boop in the medical community, and it is used to treat opioid addiction. And the way that it works is it goes to the opioid receptors and partially binds to those receptors. So it tricks the receptors to having an opioid there. And you may have heard the name Suboxone before, which is a trade name associated with this medication. And we are starting to prescribe this more and more in the emergency department setting to help people with opioid withdrawal.
Was she prescribed sertraline?
Yes.
And just for the record, sertraline.
Yes.
Have you ever prescribed that?
No, we try not to prescribe psychiatric medications from the emergency department. That is something that we would do in conjunction with our psychiatric faculty.
Was she prescribed torpiramate?
Yes.
How do you say that?
Topiramate.
Have you ever prescribed that?
I have, but again, topiramate is a medication that can either treat seizures or it can also treat migraines. And we might prescribe it short term, but our hope would be that that patient receives continuity of care either by their primary care physician or their neurologist to continue that kind of long-term prescription.
Was she
Oh, he
prescribed
sounds like me pronouncing drugs at my job. 'Cause I
clonidine?
can't.
Spelled Clonidine.
Yes.
Have you ever prescribed that?
Yes.
What's that for?
Well, clonidine actually has two purposes. The first, most commonly, is to treat high blood pressure. The other reason why it may be prescribed is to treat opioid cravings.
Was she prescribed bupropion?
Yes.
Spelled bupropion. Have you ever prescribed that?
Again, this is a psychiatric medication, and same thing, we try not to prescribe psychiatric medications for emergency patients because we would want that to be in conjunction with our psychiatric colleagues.
Again, you are
That's a lot of
a medical
psychiatric
toxicologist.
medications to be on.
Yeah, and
At
I'm
once.
sitting here and thinking, how much of it will actually be a mental soup? How many of them will
Yeah.
counteract each other and make you even? Because we know the Zoloft is the one that people mention a lot, that that's really making the bad thoughts worse for some people. But when you have this much, I know this is what Sue calls a good start to the weekend, but for normal people, this is a lot of drugs.
Yeah. And I
And
know
how
quite a
many
few
of
people
them
on.
counteract?
Well, yeah. Especially the sertraline. I've heard a lot of people have really bad results with that. A lot of really crazy thoughts, but I don't know. I know it's not everybody, but yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's always my problem with the psychopharmaceutical. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But all the happy pills, because when you start mixing them, where the hell are you ending up? What are they all? Because all of them are supposed to do the same thing, make you happy or less sad. But then you put in 5 different pills to fix the same problem. At the same time, you're treating her opioid addiction.
Yeah. Well,
to me,
obviously she's abusing the medication, so that's the part
yeah,
too.
that's
That's like,
another thing. She's also abusing medication. Yeah, but to me, it kind of sounds like you're eating at an Indian street kitchen. It will end in an explosion.
yeah, it's not good.
Is true.
True.
And
Psychotropics.
expertise is in prescription drugs or
Psychopharmaca.
illegal
Kan-
drugs?
Yes.
And your expertise in this field, how long have you done it?
Since 2004.
Is it dangerous for a patient to mix these drugs?
It can be, yes.
Is it dangerous for a patient who's prescribed any of these drugs to stop taking them?
It depends on which one. Alprazolam is, again, a medication that if you stop it, you can develop a withdrawal syndrome. So part of that withdrawal syndrome that is dangerous is seizure activity. Alcohol withdrawal, benzodiazepine withdrawal is a life-threatening condition, whereas opioid withdrawal, albeit extremely uncomfortable, is not a life-threatening condition. Opioid toxicity is, but not opioid withdrawal.
Why would you prescribe psych meds to women? They are actually already all crazy, and like Brandon says you can't fix crazy. I have no opinion about that one, Zach. You can take a long time to get the right medication for an individual. Yeah, but you have so many psychotropics in her prescription. That just seems like a very dangerous road to jump on. Sanibars is Xanax. I don't know what that's called. What's the non-brand name for Xanax?
I don't know. I just know it is Xanax. What is the other name? Xanax?
Now, you talked about the documents you received from the medical examiner. Does that include the NMS report?
Yes.
Prior
Well, it's
to
the one
this
they've been
court
talking about.
case, have you ever seen an NMS report?
Oh, almost every day.
I'm showing you it's marked as State Defense.
At Zach's household, that's called his right hand.
Exhibit number
Alprazolam.
442, and just for the
Alprazolam,
witness,
yes.
please. Is it? Oh. Let me take. I made a mistake. Exhibit number 443.
Oh, you made a mistake? Let's click-clack some more. And...
Well, hasn't Club qualified her as a stinking expert so we
Tell
can
me when
get
it's
to
on
it?
your screen.
I mean, it seems like he's just questioning her and we're gonna...
This is NMS Labs. NMS stands for National Medical Services, and it is the go-to forensic toxicology laboratory in the entire country. It's located in Pennsylvania, and many medical examiners, even from California to New York to Texas, send their samples to NMS Labs, as well as sometimes other types of samples as well. And they are the ones that will do the forensic toxicology testing.
Now I'm going to scroll. Does this appear to be the NMS report for Ms. Pavlons?
Yes.
Do you recognize this as being the report from Ms. Pavlons?
Yes.
It's an 8-page report? 8 pages?
Yes.
Judge, I'd ask to admit this exhibit and publish to the jury.
Any objection?
Oh, Judge, we had previously stipulated to this exhibit.
Okay, go ahead. It's admitted.
Zach can fly over.
Well,
Help you with your IKEA furniture. He's practically a Swede anyway.
what the jury's seeing now is the initials for NMS2. Is that right, Doctor? Its initials for the NMS lab is at the top page of this exhibit, true?
True,
Ms. Pavlon's name is on there, too?
true.
And as far as you know,
True.
this is the report that was generated by the medical examiner.
And this report is generated by NMS Labs and then forwarded to the medical examiner.
What does the labs receive from the medical examiner in order to generate this report?
Well,
Objection, lack of foundation.
I'll sustain that objection, yes, for that question.
Have you ever submitted the
Oh, he can't even figure out.
samples to the NMS, to the lab in Pennsylvania?
no, I have not.
I'm showing you it's marked as, again, page 1. What is the jury seeing right in front of them?
So
Just
these are
ruin
the
her
final
aim with the
results
Yankee
of
Candle.
the toxicology testing that was performed on Stephanie Pavlon. So in other words, they may test for a whole menu. It's actually when you submit samples to NMS Labs, there are different menus that you can choose as far as what to have tested. And in general, they're pretty broad testing of a number of different substances, and they'll test for all of those different substances. And whatever ends up being positive will get reported inside this black box.
Is there anything significant about what you see on these results from Ms. Pavlon?
Well, typically, when the medical examiner sends samples to NMS Labs, it's usually blood or urine. It's not as common to submit liver or muscle tissue, but what has been described is the advanced state of decomposition in this case, where there was not any blood or urine, or oftentimes vitreous, which is the eyeball jelly that can be tested for. Because of the state of decomposition in this case, vitreous was not available, but you can still confirm the presence of substances in other types of tissue, in this case, liver and muscle.
Now, you indicated that Ms. Pavlon's was prescribed alprazolam.
Yes,
Based upon your review of her medical records, was it something that she was supposed to take every day?
yes.
The findings in this exhibit do not have alprazolam listed. Did you note that?
Correct. There's no alprazolam or metabolites of alprazolam. A metabolite is what your body changes one substance into another. All drugs get metabolized, so to speak. And so alprazolam has metabolites that are not present here, nor is alprazolam, the parent molecule, present either.
Would
So
you
she
know
wasn't on
that
Stannies.
had Ms. Pavlon's taken her alprazolam as prescribed, would we have noted a finding for alprazolam in this report?
We should, unless for some reason it was below the level of detection in this tissue.
We'll talk about that, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
What does that
Is there
mean?
anything else that you needed to receive from myself, or in this case, to render any kind of opinion?
Can you be more
And that too,
specific?
Danny.
Do you
Could have had
believe
a-
I gave you all the material that you needed to render an opinion in this case?
Yes,
Did you note that on the report?
I did.
I'm going to show you it's marked as exhibit number 442. And again, this is just for the witness. Let me know when you see it.
I see it.
Now, this is a report that you drafted for this case, State of Wisconsin versus Matthew Pahl, true?
True.
And this appears to be the first page of the report?
Yes.
And is this your final draft?
I believe so, yes.
And it's dated August 7th, 2025.
Yes.
Page 1 of the report discusses your qualifications, true?
Yes.
Why did you find that significant to list that on this report?
Why do I put qualifications in a report?
Yes, ma'am.
I put qualifications in every report that I generate just to describe my education, background, and experience.
Page 2 of your report, it's labeled methodology.
Yes.
What's the purpose of that?
Well, methodology is how an expert goes about reaching an opinion. And whether it's somebody in a laboratory who describes the technique that they use to analyze something, or fingerprints or DNA, that's the methodology that they use. When a medical expert is giving or rendering a medical opinion, it is also, there is a certain methodology that we follow, and that is the method of differential diagnosis.
That same page discusses, in general, the cause of death, true?
Yes, in general, yes.
And it lists traumatic causes of death. What does that mean?
Well, part of differential diagnosis, if I may explain, is when somebody comes to the emergency department, let's say, and they are complaining of certain symptoms, physicians generate what's called a differential diagnosis, meaning that we go through this mental flow chart of what could possibly be going on with this patient. And so take, for example, chest pain. Is the chest pain because someone dropped a weight on their chest, or are they having a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot to the lung, or are they having a heart attack? And so we ask a series of questions, and we will do a physical exam, and then we will obtain ancillary studies like laboratory, EKG, x-rays, CAT scans, in order to rule in or rule out a diagnosis. And there are some diagnoses in that mental flow chart.
I just know that I speak better English than he does.
That are high in the differential, and then there are some diagnoses that are low in the differential. So more likely it's this versus that. And so when you are doing a cause of death opinion, remember, cause of death is a diagnosis. And so the methodology of a medical physician is to go through the same type of methodology for cause of death. And so first you want to rule out traumatic causes of death. Then in general, you want to look at natural causes of death. And then finally, you will consider the toxicology findings. And then last but not least, you consider an arrhythmia, which is a lethal heart rhythm. And the reason why that is last but not least is because there's nothing that you can see on an autopsy to rule in or rule out an arrhythmia, so it becomes a diagnosis of exclusion. So that is the differential diagnosis or methodology that all physicians would use in rendering a cause of death opinion.
Judge, I'm going to object and move to strike based on prior rulings in the court's earlier discussion with counsel outside the presence of the jury.
I'm going to overrule that objection. You can continue, Mr. Calabrese.
Your report mentions the things you just discussed with the jury. It also talks about toxicological causes of death.
Yes.
What's that?
Well, a toxicological cause of death is a death from a substance or a poison. It can be a prescription drug, it can be an illicit drug, it can be a chemical type of exposure, but specifically when we're talking about a toxicologic cause of death, it involves interpretation of post-mortem drug levels. And typically, if you were to do an autopsy or look at a dead body, there's really not much that you can see to determine whether or not someone died from a toxicologic exposure, illicit or prescription medication. And so what you're left with are these drug levels. And what's very important when you're considering a toxicologic cause of death is not to hang your hat on a specific number. And I will tell you that when I tell lawyers this, and honestly, when I tell a lot of other physicians this, it's like telling them that there's no such thing as Santa Claus, because it's hard to believe that impairment, for example, in a driving while intoxicated case, or intoxication, or cause of death is determined by a blood level alone. And this is true if you have blood. This is true even if the person is still living, because, for example, if someone gets into a car crash and they have methamphetamine present, it is not determined that they are impaired based on that level, and that's living blood. So there are only a handful of substances that we check blood levels on in the healthcare settings. There's just a few. Everything else, you have to correlate the post-mortem or the ante-mortem blood levels, which we don't typically get, with peri-mortem circumstances, with how a person may have been looking around the time of their death. And it is not determined by the level in and of itself. So if it's not something that we can determine from blood, you certainly cannot make a determination based on a level that is in liver or muscle tissue.
In your report, you discuss opioid toxicity and death. You have a
I love that he to expect just TCPI. You can just see his face is just. I just give up. Yeah, he's just stroking out right now. Why are these words so hard? I don't know. TP poopy Q plus. I don't know.
Why did you throw a number in there, sir? I don't even know what's happening.
I love that he starts trying to say it and then he just starts spelling it. He's just given up. It's just I don't know. I really don't know. Doctor, can you just tell me what I discussed with you?
I know. Come on. Let her talk.
Yeah, she can say tips to CBCK
Five,
B
2.
umlaut.
page of that discussion. What's that about?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
What's relevant, sir? Mr. Galaviz.
Is inner animus report there's oxymorphine true?
Oxymorphone.
So I'll sustain the objection. And he's asked another question. Go ahead, next.
Toxicological.
In this case, what were the pertinent details that you considered in rendering an opinion?
Can you repeat that?
What pertinent details did you consider in rendering your opinion?
Well, as I was describing earlier, it is
More
important.
specific, Mr. Galaviz. Just a second, Doctor. Go ahead.
Oh.
Well, you looked at the pertinent details about Miss Stephanie Pavlon's, true?
True.
And that's what you took into consideration?
Yes.
And what was pertinent about her that you considered?
All right, let's excuse the jury for a second, okay?
Oh, my Lord.
Well, it's public defenders. No one paid. You paid. No, the taxpayers paid. Taxi, cosi, doxy, logi, sical. Exactly, Zach.
Oh, yeah, that
Have a seat,
one.
everybody. The jury's left. Mr. Galaviz, I told you that I would stop without an objection. Your question was, and what was pertinent about her that you considered? The answer to that in the doctor's report is that she considered things that I indicated very clearly in my prior ruling that I would not allow the doctor to testify about. You've been asked, and don't play coy with me, you're asking a far too open-ended question that if she answers truthfully, she's going to get into things that I said she could not testify about. And that's why I asked you to be more specific, Mr. Galaviz. If you can't do that, then the response is going to be farewell to Dr. Hale. You need to be more specific in light of my prior ruling on the motions in limine. All right? And you can think about that. We're going to take a break right now for the afternoon, about 10 minutes or so.
But I just need someone to tell me what to do. I don't know how to do my job. Jimmy,
Right? How?
what do you think about this? The DIRECTBK, I don't know.
Oh, my God. This man.
Examination that he's been doing for the last hour and a half.
I mean, she's good. He's like, his questions just like I get what, like, the stuff she's talking about. She's explaining it well. I
She's
like
a
her.
professional witness. She lives for this. But this guy, he can't do anything right.
Yeah, he's just terrible. It's hard to listen to.
So she was on Suboxone. What's that? It's an opium treatment. She was prescribed that. You just asked me if she was prescribed that. Yes. It must be so annoying. Imagine being, and she's a professional. They had to talk about. You're going to say this. I'm going to say that. I'm trying to sneak this by the judge. So if I get, if you allow it, just be quick about it because there's going to be an objection. All of this is something you would have rehearsed before you get there. But this guy is just so.
The judge is probably annoyed too because he's waiting for him to start asking something he shouldn't be asking, but he can't. It's like, spit it out already, and he's got to hurry up and object because he starts to say something. It's like, is it going to be that?
Yeah.
You can never tell with this guy.
Let's see what our poll says. As always, when the state rests, we ask, state has rested, did they prove his guilt? 84% says no, out of 88 votes. So I think we're kind of like the inverse law and crime. We're always in the high 80s if the state didn't do shit.
Yeah,
this is the channel you go to when you hate the state.
Yeah.
Only Sue loves the state.
I like them when they have a good case and they have the facts and they're not trying to shovel some BS into our faces that is just, hey, look at all these. We could cherry pick and make all this stuff look really shady.
Yeah.
But we have no evidence of anything relevant, like as in like a cause or a weapon or evidence of blood or bodily fluids anywhere. But come on, look at him. He's a creep.
Did you know Sue has a tattoo that says, govern me harder, daddy?
Ugh. Sue, get it removed.
I thought it was weird when she told me that she had that tramp stamp with a picture of Congress.
Oh. Oh, wow. Doubling down.
This lawyer was a police officer. He should have stuck with his parking offenders. Imagine being stopped by him. So, do you know why I pulled you over today? No? Well, it was because you were SPEETN going too fast.
Let me start over.
Oh,
His
Marissa.
co-counsel, I wonder if he's like, he just is used to this, or he's actually, because I would be squirming in my seat. Like, just let me do this.
Yeah, he's gonna get a parking ticket while he's been pulled over for speeding because this guy's just gonna. So you're in a car, true? Yes. It's your vehicle, true? Yes. You have a license, true? Yes. You have registration, true? Yeah. Are you saying meow? How did he get a law degree and pass the bar? Very slowly.
Very slowly. It probably took him years.
Yeah, and this is a very important witness for them because she's going to raise a whole heck of a lot of doubt. I hope the other lawyer is in the bathroom with Slotho or whatever his name is, just slapping him across the face saying, stop it, wake up, stick to the script.
Like, did you party all weekend or something and not read anything to get prepared for today? Like, you're gonna get this man put away for life.
See you later, Steve.
Bye, Steve.
But no, and imagine putting the defendant on the stand with this guy. So you were having ladies in the Philippines.
I was like wheezing.
What state are the Philippines in? It's another country. Can you spell Philippines? Philipines. That's not how you spell Philippines. What?
Scroll on his computer and make his little scroll noise. Look it up.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. No, you're not. You could just be prepared.
He says,
it's like
the judge said, don't be coy with me. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Or what other judge was it who said, don't be coy with me? That was Judge Schroeder.
No, it was don't be brazen.
Yeah, don't be brazen. Yeah, that was a
but I just
one.
like it. It was like, don't be coy with me. You knew what you were doing. Judge, he didn't. He's just wheezing over there. I don't even know.
Yeah, maybe it's a dip bag of sweeties.
I don't know why the other lawyer isn't doing anything.
No, because he seems to ask him all the questions. Maybe it's some kind of work relief that he has to do X amount of hours or something. Do we think he's getting paid by being spanked by Filipino ladies? Well, apparently he was offering spankings to the Filipino ladies, so
yeah,
that was in the text messages.
Don't make me spank you.
Yeah, are you up for your daily spanking? And again, all you ladies who need a good spanking.
Get in the baker's inbox immediately.
No, I just gave it to them. See?
No, he wants private spanks. And you should send him your butt cheeks, like your bare butt cheeks. I will let you start getting Bare butt cheek pictures.
Well, oh my.
Bring jurors back from the state.
Yes, Your Honor, just continuing on what we've been discussing, I'm not going to object to the admissibility of 442, but to publication, I am, because there's so many things. I mean, Mr. Galaviz keeps scrolling through it as he's asking questions. I don't want the jurors to see things that this court has ruled to be inadmissible. And so I'm going to object to just wholesale publishing and scrolling through it in front of the jury and things like that. I guess if there's a particular area of the report that he wants to ask about that the court has allowed, I wouldn't object to that.
I'm
but
very cognizant of that, ma'am, and I have been watching and looking at the report as we go through this, and I'm very cognizant of that. And when and if there's a request, I'll rule appropriately.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else, Mr. Galaviz, before I
Yes.
bring the jurors back?
Yes, Judge, for purposes of my witness, I'm a little confused. I know she's a little confused because I read your motion ruling on the Dauber hearing several times. She's read the transcripts herself. And again, your ruling was she was not to discuss in any shape or form manner of death. And she understands that. We're not discussing any kind of manner of death here thus far. It's just cause of death. You didn't prohibit her to give an opinion as to the cause of death, just the manner of death, that she wasn't qualified to give that opinion.
I understand that, Mr. Galaviz, but I want to be really clear. That question that caused me to stop was when you asked her, and what was pertinent about her that you considered? And that's a very open question. And the things that she considered in her report were some of which I said, no, she doesn't have the ability to testify about it.
Right.
And look,
And she knows not.
Mr. Galaviz, let me finish, all right? This is not my first rodeo, okay? The way you asked that question was a very open-ended question that called her to respond with everything that she considered. Ask a question, you can, and this is not your first rodeo. You know what my
Hopefully
ruling
it's
was.
about to be his last.
You know what's not to be testified about. You can make a question, you can.
I don't think
construct
he
a question
offered her off as an
that keeps
expert
the
still.
doctor to those areas that are
He hasn't said
permitted.
anything.
Right. And
And if
she,
you can't do that, we'll stop.
This witness is actually a good witness. This lawyer is a terrible lawyer.
Yeah.
no, and she knows what she can't testify to. I've instructed her what she cannot say.
Then ask better questions. Anything else?
And ask better questions.
No.
Look who you're talking to, Judge.
Again, Judge, I renew my objection on the grounds of lack of notice to the state of Wisconsin. At no time in this report or at the Daubert hearing did she testify, I conclude cause of death is blank. Now she's going to get up here for the first time in direct examination and tell the jury what she thinks happened. It's nowhere in her report. They've given us no notice whatsoever.
She's testified about, when I look at her report, the way I read it, it says these things did not cause her death. Or that there was inconclusive evidence of the cause or the amount. So that's what I read. And if she strays outside that, then I'll take care of it when I have to. And I think my ruling has been clear from the time we had the motion in limine, what she can testify about. And you're correct. She's stated in her report, the plain language, the plain English says, again, I'm just going to quote some, inconclusive, whether an overdose of topiramate, not enough evidence to determine whether an overdose of sertraline, not enough evidence to determine whether an overdose of oxycarbazepine contributed to her death, ibuprofen unlikely, cotinine toxicity unlikely. That's what she's tested. That's what she's reported. And I think we're clear where we're going to go, and we're not going to go beyond that. And if she's reported in a report about the manner of death, and I've indicated that that's not to be testified to. And again, I expect that Mr. Galloway's talked to the doctor about that. I'm taking, and I'm listening carefully to the questions. We're going to move forward. And again, if I think that there's going to be an attempt to cross the line, given my prior ruling, I won't wait for an objection. All right? Let's bring the jurors back.
This guy probably knows more about drugs than the doctor because he's street
Yeah.
pharmaceutical specialist. They know exactly what you need to get something to work.
Mm-hmm.
Bacon never substitutes butter.
Yeah, you can never stop. There's no butter stuff.
I use plant-based margarine sometimes. That's better for making stretching doughs.
Some real ass butter.
You eat Crisco.
I do not.
I heard from Iris that every piece of Tupperware in your house is Crisco.
It's not.
Well, some Land O'Lakes was also there, but
I had a lot of lunch meat for the longest time. Those are nice. But I only use real butter now for things.
All right, all 14 have returned. Thank you very much. Have a seat, everybody. All right, you may continue, Mr. Galaviz.
I'm going to make a cup of coffee because
Did you review this NMS report for Ms. Kaplan? True.
True.
She was on prescribed alprazolam, but you did note alprazolam in the NMS report.
Correct.
She was on seizure medication. Did you note any seizure medication on the NMS report?
There was.
Was there a lot of seizure levels in her lab report?
Well, as I testified earlier, you cannot make any kind of decision based on a post-mortem level.
You indicated for this you reviewed police reports, true?
True.
Did you review any background material for Ms. Pavlon's as far as history?
Yes.
And what was that?
I reviewed her medical records from a Dr. Francis McCann at an Aurora Health Clinic. I reviewed medical records from her neurologist, and I reviewed a diary that she kept, and reviewed transcripts of interviews with family members.
In the review of the medical records, did you note anything significant?
Objection vague.
Be more specific, Mr. Galaviz.
In the review of the medical records, did you note anything significant connected to Ms. Pavlon's cause of death?
Objection vague.
Be more specific, Mr. Galaviz.
What did you know did you note anything significant in the medical records?
Objection vague.
That's the same question.
I was just saying that you have to be more specific, Mr. Galaviz.
What?
I'll let you lead on this question, sir.
Thank you, Judge. In her past medical history, there was a discussion on her being treated for seizures, true?
True.
And convulsions, true?
Convulsions are seizures.
There's a reports in her medical records about depression?
Yes.
There's reports regarding her opiate dependency, true?
Objection, Your Honor. Prior ruling.
Hang on a minute, Doctor.
Judge is gonna get mad at
I'll allow it.
you.
I'll overrule the objection.
Slothy. Come on, get it together.
Go ahead, Doctor, you can answer.
Yes, there were indications in her medical records about opioid dependence, which is why she was prescribed buprenorphine.
Your Honor, my objection is not from the September 12th motion hearing, but from the motions earlier in the year regarding motions in limine.
All right, I'll allow this response, so I'll overrule the objection. Continue, Mr. Gillies.
You indicated that you also reviewed her diary, true?
True.
And in her diary, she had comments about suicide, true?
True.
You reviewed the note discovered, or you don't know where it was discovered, but the note has been testified, a note found in Mr. Pavlon's truck reference to discussing suicide, true?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained, don't answer it. Next question.
Did you review the note that was found in Mr. Paul's truck?
Yes.
He is walking on eggshells.
Did you consider Ms. Pavlon's physical health?
Yes.
Did you consider her mental health?
Yes.
Dr. Shield ruled cause of death as undetermined.
Is that a question?
Is that a question? Objection? I'm not sure if that was a question for the witness or just a statement by Mr. Galaviz.
I didn't finish.
I've finished.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Dr. Shield,
This is like Brian Higgins trying to
well, ultimately you saw
hook up
the
with a lady.
autopsy.
Well,
Dr.
He
Shield
just, I was like waiting for him to finish. I'm like,
finding
is
after
that
the
a
autopsy,
question?
true?
True.
You also saw the final death certificate with Dr. Shields' finding, true?
True.
Do you agree that Dr. Shields' finding is appropriate under the circumstances?
Yes.
Would you agree based upon, again, you're under the totality of circumstances that there are other possibilities?
Yes.
Oh my God. You gotta hit this stuff hard, dude. This is your big time
Would you agree
witness.
that that there's a medical possibility?
Objection vague.
Sustain the objection.
No, of what?
Next question.
Medical possibility.
Was in this case a seizure a possibility?
Yes.
It is.
In this case, was an overdose a possibility?
Yes.
This is amazing.
Do you believe a natural cause of death is a possibility?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge.
Christ.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to start with your work at Parkland. You said it's the busiest ER in the country, right?
It is.
And you're known for having treated President Kennedy after he was shot.
No.
Well, not me personally. I wasn't born yet.
Parkland.
Yes.
There you go. All right. And let me ask you a question, Dr. Hill. Have you ever treated a victim of domestic violence in your ER?
Oh, yes. Many, many times.
Many, many times, correct? Very common for a person to present to the emergency room with complaints of domestic violence, or now I think they call it intimate partner violence, correct?
Correct.
And as an emergency room physician, you actually receive training on the dynamics of domestic violence, correct?
Yes.
Helps you know what to look for, things a victim may say or not say to you to obtain, for you to obtain good information and provide treatment, correct?
Of course.
And of course, you want to try and attempt to prevent future acts of domestic violence for the patient, right?
Yes.
If possible.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever, you're aware of the fact that a lot of times domestic violence victims will not report their abuse?
Yes.
That's very, very common, isn't it?
Yes.
They won't tell even their closest friend or family member, correct?
Correct.
Oftentimes they won't call the police.
Correct.
Oftentimes they're very isolated by their abuser, correct?
Yes.
They can be controlled financially, emotionally, correct?
Yes.
You can even have a circumstance where the abuser dictates the movement of the victim. In other words, she's not allowed to leave the house without him, correct?
Yes.
She's not allowed to stay home without him, correct?
Sometimes.
Okay. And you would agree with me that a person could lose control of their bladder when they're confronted with life and death fear, correct?
Sure.
They could also lose their bladder when they are strangled, correct?
Possibly, yes.
In fact, the research shows
Where's
that
there evidence of that?
even within a shorter period of time as 5 to 10 seconds, a person can lose control of their bladder when they're being strangled, correct?
Possibly, yes.
Okay. And death can occur, I think the research says something between like 60 seconds to 157 seconds. Does that sound right?
No, I see what she's doing here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on so many
But she's
different
doing it way more
circumstances.
efficiently
Sure.
than the other did.
But there is research that would support at least in a strangulation case, death can result in a range of 62 to 157 seconds, correct?
Again, I'm not aware of any specific literature on that topic, so I can't speak to that. And yes, it does kind of depend on different circumstances.
Sure. Loss of consciousness can occur in 5 to 10 seconds. That sounds right?
Yes.
And loss of bladder control within about 15 seconds?
Possibly, yes.
Okay. You would agree with me that the research that was published in the Journal of Emergency Science indicated that a prior non-fatal strangulation is a very strong predictor of a future fatal strangulation, correct?
I am not aware of which literature you're referring to.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a report that was published, maybe I said the name wrong, the Journal of Emergency Medicine? You've heard of that publication, correct?
Yes.
And it's a very well-respected journal, correct?
Sure.
I'd imagine as an emergency room physician, you probably read it frequently.
Depending on the topic, sure.
Okay. And are you aware that in 2008, they published an article that primary author was a Dr. Nancy Glass, who concluded that prior non-fatal strangulation was associated with greater than 600-time odds of becoming an attempted homicide and over 700-time odds of becoming.
But he didn't strangle her. He beat her.
Well, they brought in the evidence from what she said.
Yeah, but she said he smacked her around. He didn't say he strangled her.
Yeah, there was never anything in the journals about him doing that. It was just all about like, oh, he hit me in the head with a bottle again. Like that's all. That's the only one
Yeah.
I remembered. Or he slapped her or something. But when she came in that day with pee pants, he wasn't near her. She had come in. He left the door open for her and went upstairs, didn't he? And then she came in.
Yeah, so he was strangling her in the car outside.
I guess.
No one noticed that.
But I see what she's doing. She's trying to use the doctor to get all this
No,
abuse
because I
stuff
have not
in there.
memorized the medical literature.
Okay. You don't dispute that conclusion, though, do you?
I don't know how I can possibly dispute a conclusion of an article that I have not reviewed.
Okay. I'm asking based on your training and experience. Like if a person presents to you in the ER and says she was strangled by her intimate partner, that sets off a huge red flag for you, correct?
Of course.
It's extremely dangerous behavior, correct?
Sure.
It doesn't take long to kill somebody by strangling them, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And because of this conclusion of this finding, it's recommended that doctors, nurses, and other people working in the ER screen victims of domestic violence for non-fatal strangulations, correct?
Again, I'm happy to answer your questions in general, but I am not going to answer a question specific to a study that I have not reviewed.
Sure. So I'm asking you, in your hospital, do you try and screen victims of domestic violence for prior acts of strangulation?
We screen every single patient that presents.
Did she ever present at the hospital and claim she was a DV victim?
No.
And we have absolutely, other than her journal entries, we have no evidence that she ever told anyone she was a DV victim. So how should they screen her if she didn't go to the hospital and said, I was beaten with a bottle? We know she didn't go to the hospital when he beat her with a bottle.
Yeah, she just self-medicated.
To our emergency department for domestic violence.
Because it's such a dangerous behavior, right?
Of course.
And it's a huge risk to a person's health and safety, correct?
Yes.
You agree with me that through your training in domestic violence, you've learned that when a victim gets close to trying to leave his or her abuser, that's the most dangerous time for that person, correct?
It can be, yes.
And that's why you do safety planning with a victim, right?
Yes.
And that's something you'd even do at the ER, and maybe not you personally, but you may refer a victim to social services or somebody that can help with safety planning if they tell you, I'm in an abusive relationship and I'm trying to get out.
Yes, we would consult what's called VIP at Parkland, which stands for Violence Intervention Prevention, and that would be something that we would do in conjunction together.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hale. I wanted to ask you about I want to ask you about the NMS report. I think it was exhibit, let me see for you.
I don't want to ask about any medication.
443. You remember when Mr. Galaviz displayed that?
Yes.
Okay, and I read on there, and if you want, we can put it back up, but I read on there that there were 2 sources of sample that were provided to NMS lab, correct?
Yes.
There was liver tissue, correct?
Correct.
And skeletal tissue, I'm sorry, pardon me, muscle tissue, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Of the 2, do you know the quality of those samples that were presented to the tox lab?
No, I don't.
Okay. If I told you that Dr. Shield testified the other day that the quality of the liver tissue was extremely compromised and that she was very concerned about it because there was a presence of maggots in the liver and maggot droppings in the liver, and she had grave concerns about cross-contamination. As a toxicologist, does that cause you concern as well, ma'am?
It certainly would affect the levels, which is why I've testified before that you can't rely on levels in a vacuum. However, believe it or not, maggots and other insect casings are frequently also tested in post-mortem toxicology situations because you can find those substances in the insects and their pupal casings, I think is the word. I am not a bug expert or a forensic entomologist, but as far as confirmation of the substance, the fact that we see prescription medications that Ms. Pavlons was taking and confirmed in this tissue, again, I don't care what the actual number is, but it was confirmed. I feel like there was, just because you have insects present doesn't necessarily affect the sample because you can actually test the insects themselves.
Okay. Did you read anything that told you the insects that were collected in this case were tested at NMS?
No, but your question was, should the fact that there are maggots in the liver tissue affect confirmation of the substance? And the answer is absolutely not.
No, my question was, are you aware that Dr. Shields said she did not put much faith in the veracity of the toxicology findings from the liver tissue because it had deteriorated and decomposed so much? Were you aware that was Dr. Shields' opinion?
I was, and
Okay.
I actually did see her opinion. And again,
Thank you. That's all. Did you do anything, either by contacting Dr. Shield or NMS or what? I'm not sure. My question simply is, did you do anything to try and learn for yourself the quality of the sample that was sent to NMS?
No.
And what about the muscle tissue? Is that a good source? Typically, would you be relying on muscle tissue for toxicology purposes?
You could technically rely on any substance that you're able to test, especially for confirmation. Again, not the levels. I think comparing liver to muscle, liver is better, but of course, blood and vitreous is better than liver and muscle.
Sure. And we didn't have those things either, correct? The vitreous in the blood.
Correct.
Okay. And your testimony, if I understood it on direct examination, is that Ms. Pavlons, you knew from reviewing records, was prescribed a number of medications, correct?
Yes.
And you'd agree with me, Dr. Hale, that looking just at the NMS report, some of these medications don't show up anywhere, correct?
I don't know what you mean.
Some of the medications she prescribed were not found by NMS labs, correct?
Correct.
And you'd only be speculating as to why that may be, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well,
Were
you're
you aware of the
speculating.
fact that Matthew Pahl was also prescribed oxycodone?
Yes.
And that Matthew Pahl was also prescribed alprazolam?
Yes.
Were you aware of the fact that Stephanie complained that he would commonly take her alprazolam?
Yes.
Were you aware of any entry in a journal or any other record that you reviewed where Ms. Pavlons wrote that she was going to take herself off of Xanax or alprazolam?
I don't recall that specifically. But
She never wrote and said, boy, today's the day I'm just going to stop taking alprazolam, correct?
correct.
And her doctors would have strongly recommended against that, correct?
Yes.
It's probably even on the pill bottle, isn't it?
Possibly, or within the instructions that you would pick up.
Sure, okay, from the pharmacy. Okay. You have, there's no basis to believe, based on the record and what the information you have, that alprazolam played any role in Miss Pavlon's death, correct?
Again, I can't rule that out.
Okay. Can't rule it in, can't rule it out.
Well, and to be more specific, not alprazolam toxicity because it's not confirmed post-mortem. However, as I described before, alprazolam withdrawal, even in individuals without a seizure disorder, can develop seizures.
Sure, but there's no evidence of that. You're just saying, generally speaking, alprazolam withdrawal can kill you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But we have nothing in this record that says Stephanie Pavlon was withdrawing from alprazolam, correct?
Correct.
You don't even know how she died, so you won't have anything.
Did you review the photographs and the documentation of the crime scene when they found the body on September 9th of 2000?
Well, I would say I reviewed the scene, yes.
Okay, the photographs
Yes.
and the police reports from the detectives who were out there and things like that, correct?
Yes.
You're aware that there was absolutely no pill bottles found anywhere near Stephanie Pavlon's, correct?
Yes.
No drug paraphernalia whatsoever, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever hear anything about a really big pink water bottle that she was carrying around that day? Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
That was not found near her body, was it?
No.
Exactly, Sue.
Just 1 second, please. I All right, thank you, doctor. I don't have any other questions for you.
Redirect.
Doctor, is it necessary to find pill bottles, or was it necessary to find pill bottles by Miss Pavlon's body to not consider an overdose?
No, especially in the sense that both of them would carry pills in their pockets.
You were asked that if you were aware that Matthew Pahl would take Stephanie Pavlon's pills. You remember that question?
Yes.
Do you remember, by reading the police reports and interviews, why Stephanie Pavlon wanted Matthew Pahl to monitor her prescriptions?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Sustained. Next question.
I mean, you are aware that Stephanie Pavlon would abuse her prescription medication, true?
Objection.
She doesn't know that.
Sustained.
How would she know that?
Next question.
Well,
Yeah.
you read her diaries, true?
True.
And you read the police reports, true?
True.
And you read or listened to family interviews, true?
Yes.
And based upon all that information, did you glean anything that Stephanie Pavlon's abused her medication?
Objection, Your Honor. This goes to the motion in limine.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
Oh, he's so slow.
I know. Help him out,
From the
gray
first
hair.
message,
Come
thank
on.
you.
All right, recross.
No, Your Honor, thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much, Doctor. You are
That'll be it
excused.
for
Take
today.
care.
And then come back tomorrow, see if he's going to testify.
Who's next, Mr. Galaviz or Mr. Wolf?
Your Honor, the next witness will be Emily Pescador, our canine expert.
Okay.
Canine expert.
Spell the first and the last name.
ALEXPESCADOR.
Okay, very good. And go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on.
I only have like 16 minutes left. It's up to
Okay, let's go.
you.
Come on. Where's my exhibits?
Thank you. Repeat your name and spell your name for the record.
Did that already.
I'm
You
sorry.
did that already.
That's
Yes,
okay.
he did that already.
Ms. Pescador, how are you employed?
I own DNA Canine. It's a training company for cadaver dogs.
And what does that company do?
I do consulting and I sell training equipment generally, and I teach seminars for human remains detection or cadaver dogs.
And how long have you been in that business?
Since 2022.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
The University of Southern Mississippi.
And when did you obtain your degree?
This year, 2025, I graduated in May.
Okay, and what was your degree?
I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Forensic Science with a concentration in Forensic Anthropology and a minor in Biological Sciences.
Okay, so it's safe to say that a lot of your experience predates your getting your degree, correct?
Yes, that started with dog training in 2008 and cadaver dogs in 2018.
Okay, so let's go back to that. When did you start training dogs?
2008.
Okay, and when did you start training detection type dogs?
2018.
Okay, describe how what happened that got you into that.
I met my first mentor, Mr. Don Abney, in Louisiana. He was a retired sheriff's deputy with the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office right outside of New Orleans.
Okay, could you spell that parish name for our court reporter?
Sure. St. Tammany's ST and Tammany TAMMANY.
Thank you.
Sheriff's Department.
And I apologize. The gentleman's name is all his last name?
Abney, ABNEY.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, go ahead, sir.
So Mr. Abney was also what could be considered a court expert in canine training and human remains detection canines.
Your Honor, I'm going to object and move to strike that last statement by the witness that was not even in response to a question.
All right, I'll strike the last response. Next question.
Okay, what did Mr. Abney train you in?
He trained me in canine training, which included human remains detection, forensic science generally, canine tracking, canine obedience, canine training.
What methods did he use to train you?
Can you clarify that?
Specifically, what methods did he use to train you? How did you learn?
So that included field training with the dogs and under his instruction. The practical application of that, it included what you might consider classroom training and testing. So I was tested in a traditional sense with pen and paper. I had to take tests on that. And then I had to teach him as if he was a student and I was presenting to him how to do the actual training.
Why were you learning to be simply a dog handler, or was there more to your training?
It was both. It was being a handler as well as an instructor. So the certifications that I obtained from him after a year were as an instructor.
And who issued those certifications?
Mr. Abney.
Was there an organization that gave you certifications?
It was his company, Abcantra.
Okay. And
You have to just give us that term again for a court report. Can you spell that?
Abcantra, so ABCANTRA.
Thank you.
is there did Mr. Abney also do other types of dog detection?
Not that I can recall. His main specialty area was search and rescue, search and recovery.
Okay. How is cadaver search different from, let's say, drug search?
It's very, very complex as far as the target odor profile that your dog is searching for, because it changes over time based on the stage of decomposition, based on the environment that you're searching in, and based on the training of the dog.
Okay, so would you say that training a cadaver dog takes more or less training than training a drug dog?
It takes consistent training. It takes consistent training. I'm not sure if it would be correct to say more training, as in more often, but it takes more consistent training.
Okay, tell me more about your specific education that you took in this field, or related to this field.
Could you clarify?
What classes in college did you take related to cadaver dog training?
Okay, so at the University of Southern Mississippi, with forensic anthropology, it's very much related to cadaver dog studies, as you might imagine. And I was able to base my education around human decomposition studies with forensic anthropology, and being able to mentor under Dr. Marie Danforth and being able to conduct research under her. I was able to complete my undergraduate thesis, which was canine scent discrimination of human remains. And that was conducted over 2 years, and I was able to do the practical application of that in the field with a dog. Would you like me to explain how that worked?
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
Witness
I
asking
apologize.
question.
You've never testified in court before?
This is my first time.
Okay.
She seems very, very proper.
You indicated that you were under the mentorship of Mr. Abney. Were there others that you were under the mentorship of during this time?
At the time that I was...
Either through school or after?
Yes,
Mr. Abney?
yes.
Who would that be?
After Mr. Abney, and after I started at the University of Southern Mississippi, I completed another internship with Peace River Search and Rescue in Florida. That was 6 months, and I'm still with them to this day as part of their team. And it was an in-person as well as distance training. But that included as well classroom, field training with the dog, and certification.
Eagles.
Okay. Is cadaver dog searching more than just search and rescue? Or what are the other parts of cadaver dog searching, or what are you training them at other than search and rescue specifically?
There are lots of applications to it, lots of different scenarios. You could do historical searches where you're looking in an archaeological context. Could you clarify?
Strike that. I'll go on. Have you participated in investigations for law enforcement agencies?
Yes.
Can you give me some examples of that?
Typically, I try to keep confidential with some, if it's not in the news or if it's not something that they published, I don't want to speak on it, but there is one example I included in my CV. Out of Forest County, Mississippi, they were able to identify the remains of an individual that one of my dogs was successful in finding.
Can you just tell me more about how that search started and how you came to a conclusion?
With the dog search?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of what happens in Mississippi, we get cases where people will find part of remains, they'll find part of skeletal or tissue remains in the woods, and they'll call the university, or a coroner's office might email me, or even the sheriff's office. And so I will deploy to that area and with my dog and try to recover the rest of the remains. And a lot of times that involves scattered bone or scattered human tissue, and that involves environmental analysis. So I'll have to look at the conditions of the environment, and historically as well, has it rained there, and how might that move odor through the environment? Has it soaked into the ground? Is there elevation?
It's probably really interesting, but oh my God, that voice. Imagine living with her. So what did you do today? First, I attended class. Then I walked out to my car, got into my car. Then I took my dogs out for a walk. Then I came home and had one of the greatest experiences I had in my entire life. I don't think I have felt joy like this, like I did today. Then I made dinner. It was probably the worst dinner I've ever had, but still, it was dinner. And now I'm here with you, and it fills my heart with immense amounts of joy that you are here with me, because I love you with all of my heart. Oh my God.
It's very monotone.
Very monotone. She's the one, if she ever gets proposed to, she'll be, yeah, okay.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Oh,
I feel like
a
that's
proposal. I read a book about proposals once. This makes me very happy.
This makes me so happy.
Changes that might cause gravity to pull the odor away, and how that might affect the dog's search pattern or search behavior when I deploy it into that area. So these are things I have to consider before I even put the dog in there.
Well, if I have 3,000 people who are just lurking, that's that. I like my AdSense way more that month then. But no, as long as people hang out and have fun.
Search. When we brought the dog out, he was successful in locating several of her remains, and what I'll do is I'll also use a GPS device, and I'll mark points on the map where the dog alerts, and this is just my method of doing it in that specific context. And then I'll go back and recover the remains, or if I have other people with me, in this case the sheriff's department and the university anthropology department, we'll work on recovery at the same time, and we were successful in recovering the rest of her remains.
Can you tell me about just one more, and you don't have to name the law enforcement agency, if you want to keep that confidential?
Okay. There was another one in Louisiana where, you know what those pipelines are, they're just long stretches of open area, and they go on next to highways a lot of the time, and they have these cross trails that go across them. So long, open pipelines, and then there's lots of going across them. So I had a dog, same dog that I brought out there, and he's going along and meets one of these cross sections, makes like a T. And so he goes in there and he goes through the right cross section. There's nothing there, but he's catching odor where it intersects, right at the intersection. Goes in and there's nothing there. So he turned around and come out and he goes to the other side, but there's clearly nothing over there. So he's focused around this tree at that cross section. We look up and there's nothing there. He's not focused on any burial. He gets hung up on that tree and we stop. So if there's nothing there, nothing up, he loses odor. But based on the time of day, and earlier that day, we had both the detective and I had caught these little puffs of air, which you might consider residual odor, because there's nothing there that we can see, but we could kind of smell it and then it would dissipate. And when it heats up during the day, if you have a source, the heat will cause that odor to push up and breeze will blow it away. And over time, it'll do this. It'll go up and then the breeze will blow it and then it'll land farther away. And that's where the dog will catch it. Now you think back to that trail intersecting, and that might be where that odor lands, and it'll push against that tree. So that trail intersecting and that breeze blowing in, it'll go into that trail, and it pushed against that tree. So that's where my dog got caught up. He was caught up in that trail where the odor was pooling against the tree. So the day had ended, we had worked all day, and I had to leave. But I had suggested to the detective if he just searched a little bit longer, if he was going to check, and I couldn't confirm, and I couldn't say you should keep going in this direction and just search a little bit longer, but if he did, the next day,
That's really loud, Amy.
I couldn't give him an exact estimation, but just keep walking on this trail, go a little bit farther, and you might find your victim I think he probably died of exposure based on other information that we had, drug induced along that trail, and he was found along that trail. He died of a drug overdose, and he just walked until he passed.
Okay, so
What?
you said that it was the same dog in both of those scenarios. How many dogs have you personally trained?
I don't, a lot. I have trained hundreds of dogs. For human remains detection, it's really hard for me to say because I've worked with so many people and so many handlers that I can't even estimate.
How many dogs have you, strike that. You own a dog now?
Yes, I
You
own two.
Are they both trained in cadaver searches?
Yes.
And when you say other dog, who do you train other dogs for?
Private handlers mostly,
Okay. And
volunteers.
do you know approximately how many people you've trained in cadaver dog searching?
So
Let's pull that back. How many people have you trained one-on-one in cadaver dog searches?
that's what I'm trying to think because I teach at seminars quite often and I do private consulting. And I teach at classes that involve multiple handlers in a class. And it is hard for me to come up with an estimate of how many. And I've worked at a professional training kennel. So it's really hard for me to come up with an estimate off the spot.
Would you say that you've trained more than 100 dogs in cadaver scent detection?
I don't want to give an estimate. I'd say I can't estimate. I just don't want to give you a wrong answer.
Okay. Besides private entities, what other have you done training for dogs that are deployed by governmental agencies?
I know that at seminars, I have worked with handlers that were police officers or did work for emergency management agencies. And I have had police search advisors from as far as the United Kingdom come to learn from me.
Okay. And have you provided consulting services?
Yes,
And who do you provide consulting services to?
the same. Search and rescue organizations, emergency management, police, and those are the kind.
Can you give me an example of how you provide consulting services for your business?
It's private consulting. It's usually people or handlers will call or they will email me with a training problem they have and they need a solution. And so I will ask them what's their issue, and it's usually a behavioral problem. A lot of times their dog is come up, their dog starts off strongly in training and they're doing very well. And then after a certain amount of time, it's either their dog has an inconsistent alert or it stopped performing as well as it had before. And then it becomes a diagnostic issue behaviorally. Okay, what's changed in training or at home or in their lifestyle that maybe is the problem? And then we try to figure it out. It's a problem solving.
Okay, so what's your method of trying to fix the problem?
So usually, if it's in person or it could even be virtual, I'll have them send me a video of just a general training, put out a scent source, and just show me what it looks like or tell me about it. And they'll do that, and I can tell a lot just from their description of what's happening or from being able to see it. In person, it's the same way. And then I also have, from my research, being able to figure this out, a series of exercises that can help pinpoint if there's a suspected issue. For example, a lot of dogs will track each other or handlers to the source because they will try to figure out the easiest way to get to their reward. And sometimes that is tracking each other or other people to the source, because what happens when we're training is we go hide something for them. And we leave a scent trail behind us, or if it's multiple dogs that are training behind each other on the same scent source that one person put out, well, the dogs get pretty good at figuring out they can just follow each other to that same hide, and they'll just do that. So what I'll like to do, because it works a lot, is figuring out if a dog is just alerting where other dogs have been, is I'll have a negative search area, which means there's nothing in there, there's no scent source, and I'll walk a dog into that negative search area, put it into a sit for 30 seconds to a minute, and then walk out the same way I walked in. And that is, you now have a negative search area, there's no source there. And then I will take that dog that we're trying to figure out, what the problem here is, if it's got an issue with false alerts. And the handler is blind to this search, which means they don't know if I put something there or not. But then they'll deploy the dog as if this is just a regular training exercise. And if that dog follows the trail that I walked and alerts where I put that dog into a sit, I know we have a false alert problem with that dog. So that's one way to diagnose a false alert problem. And there are ways to fix it. It just takes time. So that's one example.
Okay. You said you currently, I'm going to show you what's, just for the witness, Exhibit 611, Defense Exhibit 611. Tell me when you can see that. Scroll through it. And we'll scroll through it real quick.
Oh.
And can you tell, Ms. Pescador, can you tell me what Exhibit 611 is?
It looks like my CV. You're scrolling through it.
Okay. You're under permission to publish this to the jury.
Can I just consult with Attorney Wolf for
Yes.
1 second, Your Honor?
Yeah, just state that she is a lawyer and then a dog handler, and then get to the questions.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, 611 is admitted and you may publish.
Okay. Go down to the bottom of just page 1. Ms. Pescador, just for some clarification, I'm going to just show you the bottom of page 1. It says page 23 of 30, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this was just at the end of your of the report that you provided to me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is 8 pages, correct?
Yes.
So it's basically pages 23 of 30 of that report. There wasn't more CV in front of this, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you can scroll back up. Okay, and what did you prepare this CV did you prepare this CV in preparation for this trial?
I actually prepared this for I did another job as well. So I was updating my CV, and I also included it for this trial.
Okay, and again, this is the first trial you've actually testified at, correct?
Yes.
Have you participated in other investigations, law enforcement investigations?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know approximately how many?
Like, you want me to give you a rough estimate?
You can give me a rough estimate on that one.
25.
Okay. And so in addition to your Bachelor in Science at Southern
Sadly, not
Mississippi,
much.
what other education do you have?
I've taken lots of training classes, a lot of, there's FEMA and there's TEACS, which is Texas Engineering Extension Service. A lot of those are computer-based training.
What's the CITI program?
City program those are courses I was required to take in order to conduct the research that I did at USM, which is the University of Southern Mississippi, because of the type of research that I engaged in, and that included several projects besides my thesis. It involved both animal subjects research with the dogs, and it did not actually require the human research subjects because I did not involve living human subjects, but I still wanted to take that course. I volunteered to take it because even though it didn't involve living human subjects with the cadaver tissue, it covered things like institutional oversight for ethics.
Yes, of course he did. With the last witness, he testified. We have talked about what she's about to say. They are absolutely okay with talking to them and planning what they're going to say. They are not allowed to make them say something that they wouldn't be saying or lying about anything. But you are allowed to talk to your witness prior to their testimony, especially expert witnesses, to try and curtail them to the important parts of the testimony. I believe he has, and it's absolutely fine.
And personal privacy, data control, and
it's just Friday was an absolute waste of time, and today has. Well, I liked the last witness, but I hated the lawyer asking her questions.
Respect for human biological material, things that I felt were still a priority, things that I wanted to prioritize and be informed about, and informed consent was part of that. So I elected to take that course. Okay. The animal research subjects was required and involved animal welfare and care.
Okay, it says 2021 to the present. Are you still taking classes under that program?
No, but my certification is still valid.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they planned some stuff, but they're just bad lawyers.
When you say what do you mean certification?
The city program, when I completed it, it came with a certification for that training.
Okay. You mentioned
Tech got a
TEEPS.
certification
Again, what does
last
that
year
stand
as
for?
well.
The
It
Texas
was,
Engineering Extension
congratulations,
Service,
next year
Okay,
is
and that's
first
an
grade.
extension of what university?
Texas A&M.
And what exactly have you learned through those programs?
So those are more about the USNR, so that's more disaster-based search and recovery, search and rescue in a disaster scenario, which is not really something that I'm focused on, but is still useful technical information to know.
Okay. Have you been called out on search and rescues?
On search and rescue, yes, but I do not respond to disasters.
You've also done, it appears, some
Aggies.
work directly under FEMA, is that right?
That is training classes. So I've not worked for FEMA, to clarify.
Okay. Can you briefly describe your research, some of the research and special projects that you've been engaged in?
So the first one, comparative profile analysis of human decomposition odor, is one that is still under, I'm still completing that one. It is not complete. And that is just an analyzing odor comparison of human decomposition odor from different tissues and different individuals. And the basis of that one is coming off of my thesis research. And that one was the canine scent discrimination of human remains. And the basis of that research, just to go off of that, was to determine if a cadaver dog can discriminate between different individuals after they die. Because the scientific consensus at the time was that once we die, we all smell the same and the dog can't tell the difference. So my thesis essentially was to determine if a dog can tell the difference, if they can be individual specific, and I was able to determine that they can.
How did you do that?
It was a very involved project, and essentially I took specimens from different cadaveric donors, and I don't want to use, grotesque language, but from the same cadaveric donor, I had multiple specimens, and I had multiple donors. So I had those out in a search area, and from one cadaveric donor, I had a specimen, and I was able to train the dog to recognize one donor. And I asked the dog to please find other samples or other specimens from this individual in the search area. Tell me which samples in the search area match this individual, and basically put them back together again. So if in a mass casualty setting, in a mass graves situation, would it be possible to use a dog as a preliminary screening tool to very quickly collect casualties and help put them back together to match them back up? Because in those scenarios, DNA testing might be prohibitively expensive, very time consuming, or inaccessible. This was a pilot study. It's not something that is readily operationally available, and it requires further research in order for that to be possible. So those are two examples of research I've completed.
Okay. Do you know approximately how many presentations you've given to organizations?
Several.
Can you give me an example of 2 presentations that you've given?
I don't give a shit. I just want her testimony and want out of here. So just the jury. It's 4:10 in the afternoon. Get a move on.
To national organizations.
Okay. The canine scent discrimination of human remains is one that I've given several presentations on. It's one that I've gotten awarded on, or at least was well received. False alert is one that I've received good feedback on. It's a problem a lot of handlers want to receive information about.
Who have you given those presentations to?
Seminars, I'm asked for
What
clarification.
organizations, you said seminars, who is providing those seminars, or who organized those seminars?
North Star International Canine Training Association.
Okay. For both of those?
Yes.
Okay. Have you done any training at governmental facilities?
Yes.
What have you done there?
What have I done there?
What did you do? What training or presentation did you give?
Okay, so that's in-person training. The facility was Muscatatuck Atterbury Urban Training Center.
Okay, so you need to spell that.
Okay. Muscatatuck, well, it'd be easier to M-U-T-C. I can't recall how to spell Muscatatuck.
Okay, I'll get it for the court reporter afterward.
Thank
then.
you. It's in Indiana. It's the Department of Defense's largest scenario-based training facility.
Okay, and what did you do there?
I hosted a week-long, or not hosted, but I was an instructor and evaluator for a week-long cadaver dog seminar, which included certification testing for handlers that came from all over the United States.
When you say certification, what agency provided that certification?
That was for North Star International Canine Training Association.
While you're pausing, Muscatatuck is M-U-S-C-A-T-A-T-U-C-K. Not that I knew it, I Googled it.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I didn't have any impression that anybody thought I was smart. So
6:13. Okay, if you could take down the screen, Madam Clerk.
Can we get into it? Can we get
I'm going to
into
show you
it?
what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 613. Let me know when that's on your screen.
It says no signal.
There we go. It should come up.
Okay.
Okay. We'll scroll through that really quick. Can you tell me what that document is?
It is a document of acronyms.
Okay. We're going to talk, and we're going to talk a little bit about certain organizations. And
Why?
This is something you're familiar with, and it helps explain it helps describe these acronyms, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not.
We don't
it's
care.
not going to be any earth-shattering regarding this specific case.
don't
But it's going to
care.
help explain a lot of things that you're going to talk about next, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go, if we could, Your Honor, if you could indulge me and let me go through these acronyms with her, and I'd ask to publish this to the jury.
go ahead. Any objection to that?
No objection.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we learned that Deputy Willis with the Racine County Sheriff's Department is a member of the NNDDA. What do you know about the NNDDA?
It is a national certifying organization for multiple detection dog disciplines.
Okay, and you're familiar with that organization?
I am familiar with it.
Have you ever worked with with members of that organization?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. What about NIST?
Yes, I'm familiar with NIST.
Okay. I know we've had other experts testify about it. What is the National Institute of Standards and Technology?
It's a federal agency.
What is another federal agency, but what are they charged with?
They're charged with developing standards for all kinds of things, including forensic sciences.
Okay. So would they, when we had the individuals from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab talk about how they come up with comparisons? Yes. Wait for my question.
Sorry.
They would follow certain NIST standards, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What about the next, what is OSAC?
So OSAC is an organization of scientific area committees, and they're under NIST. So NIST is responsible for overseeing OSAC, and OSAC is composed of different subcommittees which are charged with developing the specific standards for the different areas of forensic science. And those are usually developed from working groups. So you have under OSAC, SWGDOG is the short name for it, the Scientific Working Group of Dog and Orthogonal Detector Guidelines, which is a mouthful, and we're going to call it SWGDOG if that's okay.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, we heard, I believe it was detective, and for the jury it was Detective Schrader. He said he follows the scientific working group on digital evidence.
Yes.
So that would be another subgroup of under OSAC?
Yes.
Okay. And specifically what's the product, or why did Swig Dog, or what do they do? What did they do?
So all of these working groups, they help develop the standards that are adopted under OSAC. If there needs to be standards developed, it usually starts with a working group for different areas of forensic science. So if a question needs to be answered about developing standards, it usually starts with the working group, whether it be for digital evidence or dog evidence, and then those get developed into a subcommittee under OSAC.
Okay.
So with dogs and sensors, that's the subcommittee under OSAC, which develops the standards for forensic dog evidence.
Okay. And so, just so I'm clear, NIST doesn't develop standards, it's OSAC that does, correct?
NIST is the federal agency that publishes the standards and is in control of the development for them, essentially.
So okay. So OSAC is kind of under NIST, or is under NIST?
Yes.
Okay, just so I'm clear. And then we heard from several experts, including crime lab people, and they were a member of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences. What is that?
It is a professional membership organization of forensic science.
Okay. Did they set standards?
No.
Okay. Do they? What about? What's the American Standards Board then?
So the American Academy of Forensic Science established the American Academy of Forensic Science Academy Standards Board, which is an SDO standards development organization.
Okay, when you say SDO, what does SDO?
You're trying to elicit testimony and you don't even know what testimony you want to elicit from her. I thought you were the good guy.
Standards development organization.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so what is the Americans? So what do they do?
So they do separately develop standards, and it does get kind of confusing because they do cross-publish from OSAC, and they also at the same time develop forensic standards. Like I said, it can be kind of confusing, but American Academy of Forensic Science, and then there's the American Academy of Forensic Science Academy Standards Board. Two separate organizations, but related.
Okay, and then just some terms we've heard in during dog searches and things. HRD, what does that stand for?
Human remains detection.
Okay, so when you talk about an HRD canine, that's the canine who does human remains detection.
Yes.
Okay, and then COB, we've heard a little bit about that. That again, can you explain what that is?
It's a change of behavior.
Okay, can you explain a little bit more about what you believe that is?
So whenever the dog does its searching and there's a difference in its behavior that the handler recognizes as being associated with detecting its target odor, and whether that be characteristic head snap or its tail starts wagging, and it is something that is consistent with the dog recognizing its target odor it's been trained to find.
Okay, and then VOC.
Volatile organic compounds. These are the odors that the dog is trained to find.
Okay. Thank you. Again, we're going to be talking about those a little bit more as we go through this.
Let's just ask. The dog could have made a false alert. Yes, by night, and then let Sue come up and say, "But
You had a chance
I
to
also had a
review
dog."
Detective
but it can
or Deputy
alert.
Willis's qualifications, correct?
Yes.
And you went through. What did you? Is that a part of when conducting an evaluation? Is it important to know the handler's background?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
So that you understand the context and training and preparation that the handlers had with his dog.
Okay. If you're doing an evaluation, do you normally review training logs?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been, I just want to make sure I get the number right. It has been marked as Defense Exhibit 604. Actually, strike that. You looked over, so again, you looked over Deputy Willis's training log, correct?
Yes.
And you looked over his training summary
Yes.
that talked about his the blind accuracy, correct?
Yes.
And then you looked over his training notes, correct?
Yes.
What in reviewing that documentation, what conclusions did you reach?
The training notes, the time logged in the training notes, and then the time documented in the log, these were different documents, were not the same.
Okay. What is the what do you believe is the standard for how often a handler should be training a dog?
So there are a few different standards, whether it is cadaver dog or human remains detection dog standard for maintenance training, but they are consistent with 16 hours of maintenance training per month, which is on average about 4 hours per week to train your dog to maintain the performance that it's at.
Okay, where does that standard come from?
It's multiple different standards, but Swig Dog is one of them. One of the standards we talked about before, and it's also referenced in some court precedents, which gives it some priority as far as its importance.
Okay, explain what should 16 hours a month.
Yes.
Okay, and what should be done during those 16? Can you give us some examples of what should be done during those 16 hours?
Yes.
Is that just walking the dog? Is it playing fetch? What is it?
So this is going to be actual training time with the handler and the dog, and this could be actual training with the odor. It could be rewarding the dog. So a lot of this is called the reward system, and it's getting the dog actually interested in the reward you're going to be using, whether that's a toy, whether it's treats or petting and praise. This could be search time. There's a lot of different things that you could be working on with your dog, but whatever it is in the context of odor search training, it's actual time between the handler and the dog. It might be easier to explain what it's not. It's not the dog waiting in the crate while you set up and break down search scenarios. It's not waiting for your turn. It's not driving to and from search training. I think
maybe I just thought so. It's not just nose time. I think we heard the term nose time from Deputy Willis. Nose time would be doing an actual search, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but it's more than that. It's more face. I guess we could probably say it includes FaceTime as well. In other words, the dog interacting directly with the handler.
Right.
In a training scenario.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't include time at home or anything like that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In reviewing Deputy Willis's training logs and his training notes, I'm going to show you.
Well, this one is to say that dogs can react to a false lead, and it's really, really interesting. He can't ask a question, and whenever he asks a question, he doesn't know what answers he's going to give, and it's his expert. This is absolutely fantastic. And I have nothing else to drink, and I want to go kick something, and this is going to go past midnight. Jamie, I'm going to make myself another drink. I had an espresso 40 minutes ago, thinking this is going to be hell when I get to bed. No, because then we're going to bring up a dog handler we can't ask questions of. So I'm going to hate myself even more now. And Sue wonders why I'm always angry.
I know.
Go back out. And so I'm not going to publish this.
Okay.
I'm going to show you your defense exhibit number 12. Yep. Yes. 612. That's her.
Thank you.
Okay, and then scroll down. Keep going. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Pescador, tell me when you see that on the screen.
Yes.
And we'll scroll through it. It's 31 pages, though, correct?
Correct.
And I believe that includes your CV. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. We'll scroll through real quickly. We'll go through this. But can you tell me what that is?
This is my report.
Okay. So you took. So what else in preparing for this report? What else did? And this is you looked at the canine search that was done by Detective Willis, correct?
Correct.
And you looked at the police reports and you looked at a whole bunch of sources and then put this report together, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and again, part of this report was you focused on the training that was done by Deputy Willis specifically.
That was part of it.
Okay. You went through you analyzed some of the specific training that he went through, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but part of your report focused on basically just the time he spent.
Yes.
And this was what's considered maintenance training, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm showing you what is basically table 1 of your report, correct?
Correct.
And again, it's did Deputy? Are you aware that Deputy Willis had some training standard that he was following?
Yes.
And what was that?
Well, let me correct that. I understand that he was using information from his mentor, Karen Corcoran, and he cited a 90% accuracy rate, blind accuracy rate figure.
Okay. Were there standards on the amount of time he should be training with the dog?
I don't recall him citing any standard he was using.
Okay. Did he cite any goal that he had for trying to get a certain number of hours for training?
Not that I recall.
Okay. But basically, your understanding, according to, I got to get the acronym right. SWIGDOG, which is under the Organization of Scientific Area Committees. Your understanding was 16 hours, correct?
Yes.
So you took that standard and then you reviewed his training log and his notes, correct?
Correct.
And is this table an accurate reflection of your analysis?
Yes.
Okay. So can you publish this to the
Yes.
jury? Okay. I'd ask if we could publish this table to the jury.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Again, Ms. Pescador, this is the table that you put together after analyzing Deputy Willis's training, correct?
Yes.
And what did you know? And this was, you didn't go back, he said he had the dog certified back to, I believe it was 2000, correct? It was longer than this, correct?
Yes.
But you only had information regarding the year that led up to the search involved in this incident, correct?
Yes, he had, this table included data from his log that was not in his notes. So I did not have all of the data I couldn't make a comprehensive picture. So a lot of it I had to rely on what he put in there.
Right.
So I couldn't make a comparison. And some of the data in here, for example, the audited hours might be the same as the logged minutes. And I left it that way because if it is what it is, then I'm not changing anything. I'm not adding or subtracting.
Okay, so in other words, you always gave him the benefit of the doubt. If there was a higher number, you used it.
Correct.
And if you had nothing to lower a number, you didn't lower the number.
Correct.
Okay, so when you give audited minutes or audited hours, those are only, again, you're the person who audited them, correct?
Correct.
And again, you only lowered them if you had specific information that allowed you to change it.
If he put something different, then I put what he put there, yes.
Okay. I guess to clear this up, so if his training log said a certain number of hours, but then his training notes said less, you put in the lower amount.
Correct.
But if there was nothing to refute it, you just kept the higher number.
Yes.
Okay. So again, this chart would err on the side of granting him more hours depending on the information.
Yes.
Okay. So can you give me an example of what you discovered when you were reviewing all his training logs and notes?
That his contemporaneous notes, the ones that he hand wrote.
Harrow got life in prison. The man who pled guilty to unaliving the baby has gotten life in prison.
Tended to have less hours than the.
As he should.
The exhibit numbers are different than the ones that I was provided for this than the ones that are here now.
Okay. For example, in October of.
Thank you, Carly Kramer, for being a member for 8 months. Sorry I missed that.
2021, that's one of the higher ones. Can you tell me how many hours, according to what you observed, how many hours he put in training the dog?
Oh, okay. So generally, the hours that he logged were much higher than what I audited.
Okay. But for example, let's go to February of 2022. Okay, you didn't audit any hours, correct?
Right.
And how many hours did he train the dog in that particular case?
So 8 hours.
Okay. And that was the highest one out of all the months that you reviewed?
Correct.
Okay. What about April of 2022?
In April of 2022, he did not conduct any training.
Okay. After February, were any amounts more than 8 hours?
No. So there were no months where he achieved 16 hours of training.
And 8 hours was the most that he had in that time period?
Correct.
Okay. What's important about what you see in this training log?
The most important thing of this was that there were no months where he achieved the minimum 16 hours of training, and there was really no consistency as well.
What do you mean by consistency?
That the 16-hour minimum standard, if you look month over month, it varied so much. It varied a lot. So this also signs inconsistency of training, of maintenance training.
So
we are trying to learn that the dog handler that the state used wasn't qualified because he didn't have the necessary hours.
Is cadaver dog training, isn't it something where I could just get 20 hours in 1 month and then not have to do it again for 6?
No, it's a perishable skill.
Okay, explain that.
It means that if the dog does not receive consistent training, it can forget, it can start relying on other cues and clues to try to get to where it needs to go to get its reward. In the search context, if it does not receive consistent training, then it's going to start to look for other cues and clues in that situation that are more consistent and reliable. So if it's not exposed to its target odor consistently enough, it's going to look for something else that is more consistent in that search setting or context that it can rely on.
And what could that something different be?
It could be its handler. It could be anything else that is more consistent, but more likely handler cues, which could be nonverbal or verbal, body movements, or contextual.
Your Honor, I'm going to get into the actual search itself. I don't know if the court, which will take a while, I don't know if the court wants to stop now or keep going.
Do.
You want me to keep? I'm fine.
No, I want to stop now.
Okay.
You're not the only one.
Right. So it is 4:34. We've had a long day, folks, and I appreciate, again, your attentiveness. And let's come back, if I don't have anything tomorrow, Mackenzie, right in the morning, and we'll start up again at 8:30, okay? So follow the instructions, and again, don't look at anything, don't Google anything like I did for that name of that city. Don't try to find out about anybody here, please, and let's preserve the integrity of the trial process, okay? Follow Mike's instructions, please. Thank you.
All right, Missouri.
Yeah.
For some reason, we don't have the public.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you for that.
Can you just yell at everyone and tell them to get on with it?
Yeah.
All right, have a seat, everybody. All 14 jurors have left. Ma'am, you could step down. You can go sit back there if you'd like, okay?
Thank you.
You bet. But of course, they're going to expect you to come back tomorrow, okay? All right. So, anything before we break from the state?
No, Judge.
Anything, Mr. Wolf?
Your Honor, there may be an issue, and it's something Attorney Opper and I are working out about the publishing of the entire report. So if I can either provide a copy of what's on the screen right now, and call it maybe 612A. And that way we know that for sure that's coming in, but we can deal with the rest of the report down the road.
I see that probably because the term expert is frequently in there. Is that the problem?
I thought it was taken out. Which one do you have? That might be your old report.
Expert witness report, I'm looking on page 11 of 30.
Correct. That's not what the word expert has been removed.
Okay, all right.
But I'm not,
I'll let you work on that.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, it's a different, we had it changed based on the court ruling that we had about a month ago
Yeah,
to take it out.
The content of the report is generally no problem. I always am concerned, even in the instructions that it says expert witnesses, I always take that out.
Understood.
So, all right, anything else?
No, I just asked if it can still be captured, that we capture that and designate it as Exhibit 612A.
All right, we'll do that then, sure.
And then that be admitted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judge,
Wait, hang on a second.
It's still plugged in. Oh, Pablo, it's plugged in.
Yes.
That's it.
That's the training chart and her critique of it, correct? Right, this
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
that exactly.
612A.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right.
I just wanted to inquire about timing. If this is the defense's last witness, would this court intend to go to closings tomorrow and jury instructions, or does the court have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. Mr. Wolfram?
Your Honor, we'll have the conversation the necessary conversation with our client. And if he's able to make a decision, we'll let the court know in the morning.
So, if this is the last witness, Ms. Pescador, if she is the last witness, then, and if Mr. Pahl does not testify, then I expect that we would finish up. We're working on the final instructions. They seem to be pretty straightforward from the parties. You did a what? You have a draft? Okay. We have a very rough draft, and we can give copies to the parties or send it to the parties. Right? Again, very rough. It's just what you've given me, more or less, okay? And then we would take a break if we finish with this witness, and if this witness is the last witness. And then I would expect we could perhaps do a little closings in the afternoon. All right? It depends. And did you want a copy of the special instruction 28 about testifying or not testifying, Mr. Wolf?
Yes, if you could just put it in the, and again, we'll make a final decision when.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you a copy of it. And again, I'm just referencing the standard special material, number 28. We'll give you a copy, Mr. Wolf, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Anything else from the state?
No.
Defense? Mr. Wolf, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
You tell me what.
Can we get in a little bit early so we can discuss the testimony, whether he's going to testify tomorrow or not? Like 8:15?
Give me 1 second. Let's leave, and you can talk to your.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
This was a long day. It was a slow day.
Yeah. Very slow.
She could potentially have died of other things. Yeah, we had figured that one out. And he didn't do his dog training. That's all we got out of 8 hours of testimony today.
Yep.
It's infuriating that they don't care more for the jury, that this is how they treat the jury. These people who are probably paid $10 a day to sit there and then have to listen to this bullshit. What's NIST? National Institute of Science and Technology. Do you know this? No. Oh. Do you know that? No. Can you talk about that time down where you went out and you didn't find a body, but someone else found a body? Yeah, sure. I could have put words on words on screen on and slept for 3 hours and just come back and sped through the only part that had anything to do with testimony.
I know. I know, Baker.
I don't know why they, if that's how you have to qualify a witness in Wisconsin. I've never heard it like this before. Can you testify about cases and stuff that you've been in? And it's just stupid. It's so stupid. Well, nothing to do but come back tomorrow and watch it again.
Oh,
Because I'm getting soft stool just thinking about having another day of this.
gross. Stop it. Well, tomorrow I'm going to be MIA, so you're on your own.
Yay!
So chat better keep you company, keep you awake.
I'm just impressed that they had such a good reasonable doubt case.
They do, and they just can't get the questions right to really hit the big points.
No, and every time they start asking a question, they just switch and ask another question. They never ever land the questions.
I know. Like, why did you ask her? You just asked her some stated a fact, and everybody's quiet, and they're like, "Was that a question?"
Yeah, she was just
I
what?
don't remember what it was, but that was funny.
Yeah, but it's she was looking like the rest of us. I don't know. This looked good on the paper, and in reality, it's ruined by a really horrendous defense team. So let's hope tomorrow will be better, and because it can't get worse. I'm going to go to bed because it's almost midnight, and
I'm gonna go relax. So, yeah.
yeah, I can play this now because it's so late.